Hi guys, welcome back to the YouTube Team Ronin podcast, episode number 14 of Sidetracked. And we have Skippy, me, Kev, Fitting's kid, and our special guest, Eager Beaver, Jamie Briggs.
Hi everybody, how's it going?
Thank you so much for coming down, man. I can't believe you travelled down. This is fucking awesome. Thank you so much.
I wouldn't have bothered.
Especially if I knew you were coming,
Yeah, exactly,
I just would not have come.
Yeah, it's all good, man.
I appreciate the hell out of it. Cool. Right, let's just dive straight into it. So, who are you?
I'm a guy from Herefordshire who pretends to build race cars. No. Yeah, I'm Jamie Briggs. I own Muswell Motorsport. I build drift cars and I have a Mark 1 Golf drift car.
I think it's probably the most well-known Mark 1 Golf in easily in the UK.
Yeah, probably. I'm the head scrutineer for Drift League. So
Hence why I've got you here, just to butter you up.
Yeah.
For next year.
Yeah, 20 quid in the ashtray.
That's fine. That's all right.
Florence needs a lot more than 20 quid.
Can you lend me 20 quid?
Yeah.
20 quid.
So yeah, that's about me really.
Awesome, man. Amazing. Right, let's dive in. Let's have a quick chat about UK drifting. Yeah, so we've talked about it loads, obviously. I know you've listened to a couple of the podcasts and stuff.
Yeah.
So how did you feel about UK drifting last year? And I know obviously now we talked about it a lot more before, the rules of this year and what's coming out with Gordon and Drift League. I feel like a lot of things that have been asked have actually now come to light.
Yeah. I mean, I think we're all aware that UK drifting is on a bit of a knife edge at the minute. I think it has been for quite a lot of years, to be completely honest. Even when BDC was still going, it was
The last couple of years of BDC was always a little bit iffy, wasn't it?
Yeah. So we all know about that. And I know that Gordon's trying his heart out to make the best championship he can. But it's really hard, isn't it, just for one person to do that?
Of course.
You know, I mean, well, it's not just one person. There's a big group of us in Drift League, like. But yeah, no, Gordon has made some big changes for 2025, and I'm hoping they're for the better. I know some of the changes he's made, I don't think he wanted to do.
Right.
But I think they're for the good.
But doesn't that show how? To me, that just shows how willing Gordon is to
100%.
Because he's listened to what everyone's saying and he's gone, well, maybe that's not what I want, but that's what everyone wants. Let's do this.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, no. I mean, like you couldn't get anyone any more behind Drift League than what Gordon is. It's like drifting hasn't been doing all that well for a few years, is it? So I think Gordon financially probably would have been far better off just knocking it on the head and just doing the drifting practice days.
Yeah.
Putting more time into his mechanicking business and the other businesses he's got and making more money that way. But I generally feel like he loves Drift League and he doesn't want to see it die. And he's putting everything into it for next year, which kind of like brings me on to, if anyone's watching this, who's got a car or who's building a car or who wants to do Drift League, next year is the year.
Definitely.
100%. Everybody has got to try and back it, because if you're there thinking, oh, wow, might not make next year, we'll do 2026. If enough people think like that, there ain't going to be a 2026. No. And then no one's going to be doing any competition drifting, you know? Yeah. Drift Pro's gone down to 2 rounds this year. Next year, is it? Drift Pro?
Didn't know that.
Apparently, so I've heard on the grapevine. But then
that's the MSV one, isn't it?
Yeah, but then when I spoke to drivers in Drift Pro, quite a lot of them say, or most of them say, it's a demo day.
Yeah, I think that's the consensus of what's been brought
up. Yeah. I mean, it's still a competition, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? It's great fun.
Yeah.
But it's not like I think like Josh King, a good friend of mine, was saying to me that he gets like a few laps for practice and then straight into qualifying and then battles, which that's another tough one, isn't it? Because, like really in competition, we're there for competition, right? Like I was saying to my mate about 2025, if we get loads of drivers in, I was like, you can kiss all your 3-hour practice, solid practice, back-to-back runs goodbye. Because it ain't going to be like that anymore. He's like, oh no, but what about practice? I'm like, well, you want to go practice, go on a practice day.
Yeah, how it always used to be.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying there's not going to be any seat time in Drift.
I know what you're saying, like at the moment, because Drift League's been quite quiet.
Yeah, I mean, it's epic amounts of seat time.
It's been insane, isn't it?
Yeah, literally, like I get as many laps as I physically want to have, really, in Drift League, which has been great for me in the last 2 years with the golf, progressing it and learning it. I don't think I could have actually done any other drift day to get as much seat time as what I did in Drift League.
Just
Do you know what I mean? Like I heard at Santa Pod the other day, some people were waiting for like an hour to get back out on track to do a couple of laps and then have to wait like another massive queue. I don't know how. I thought Santa Pod was quite quiet normally, but yeah, no. But no, I'm quite looking forward to it. I feel like too much practice is a bad thing sometimes.
Because you get too in your head.
Yeah. Sometimes you're better off just going in with a clear mind, not really worrying about too much and just concentrating on the job at hand, rather than having a load of practice laps and, oh, this isn't quite right, or this isn't quite right, and tweak this, right, better go check it now, and just putting a load of added stress on yourself, aren't you?
Just go and drive.
I mean, in my head, the way I see it is the more practice you have, the more you're trying to get that perfect line ready for qualifying. The more you're pushing yourself, the more likely you are going to buck up and end up off the track or whatever else.
Yeah,
I mean, damage
practice makes perfect, right? But
seat time, obviously seat time.
Yeah. I feel like sometimes it's better just to have a...
The best things I can think of for examples for that is you absolutely hungover, off your face, falling asleep in a queue when you did auto fast and then came second in the competition. You could barely see him. He wasn't concentrating. He was like, I got no nerves because I don't care. I'm so battered.
Yeah.
I just want to go to sleep. You did great.
Yeah.
And Paul, when he had no practice laps, none at all. First time he went out on track was qualifying because his car broke.
Yeah.
And he went out there, qualified, won his first 5. He didn't even know where the track went, basically.
Yeah.
No time to worry about, no time to stress.
Yeah.
So, yeah, what you're saying now, I think sometimes...
There's an element of it.
There is, yeah. Like, if you're comfortable after doing loads of practice days, you know your car anyway, don't you?
Yeah.
You're just figuring out the line and like we talked about earlier, off camera, like different tarmac and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's just getting used to that on the track.
Yeah, I mean, like I've done enough round Teesside, Three Sisters, Driftland and Pembury now that I know where I'm going.
Yeah.
It's like when I go out and practice now, it's really just to sort of feel out the car and usually feel out the weather conditions.
Yeah.
How wet is the track? How damp is it? You know, patchy's the worst, isn't it? Everyone knows that.
Yeah.
Pembury where the puddles are.
Yeah. Flipping out. 2 years ago we had a big flood in Pembury. That was... Did you ever see that?
I don't think I did, no.
Steve McConnell, it was in practice, and Steve McConnell, it was where we do the faster sort of section, and it was kind of, they were asking us to, you were sort of drifting around that corner, and then we had to feint a little bit and then go back around that corner.
Right.
And there was a big flood, and it was just torrential rain. And I think they were on the verges of calling it, and then Steve McConnell went in, I think he was doing 110 mile an hour, went in that way, and then literally just saw on his YouTube, on his like video, that he just lost the car, and he's like, and nothing's happening. He just flew over the grass, straight across the field. And at that point, Gordon was like, "No, we've got to stop this." Like,
I was
shit.
Scott Cartledge as well, wasn't it? When he went into the tyre barrier in that long corner.
Yeah.
Same year as that.
I nearly wrote life off on that corner. You ever seen that video? I literally went round that way, fainted, and as I came back this way, I just don't think I threw it enough. I don't know whether the weather conditions had changed. I don't know what happened, but I didn't quite throw it enough. And the car just gripped off and threw me onto the grass.
Oh,
and there's like this big concrete wall, and I'm heading towards the concrete wall. I'm in fifth. And I literally, as I went across the grass, and I'm like trying to get it back, and as soon as I went back onto the concrete, I DB'd one of my tyres. The tyre completely came off the driver's side, and I just dumped the clutch in fifth. And you just watch my car over the top of the barrier just smoke. Like this, so my car like literally just comes past, and I just keep it off the wall. Literally just the tyre marks were about 3 foot, 2 foot away from the wall. Just one tyre mark, like one wheel peel. That was the closest I had in the golf off.
Jesus.
Like, yeah, that was a bit sketchy.
See that? I mean, I feel like I can put a chase run together around like a smaller place in second gear, you know, a little bit of third gear or whatever. Fifth gear drifting at somewhere like Pembury when you're chasing, like, does it just almost become norm? This is like a personal question for me, like looking forward to next year. That, like, it's that extra level of speed, isn't it? How do you change to cope with that? Like, does it just?
I don't know. It's really strange because like when we were at Silverstone, Drift Mats, we already shout out to Sweeps.
Sweeps.
Yeah, when we were at Silverstone, I'm lucky enough that Sweeps invites me to come. Like, we're doing like 120 mile an hour on the entry, and like I can go into that. And I can go all the way into fifth, give it a good clutch kick, come back the other way, and I can do it and not really think too much about it. And then, like, when you're, like, driving down the motorway at 70 mile an hour, the thought of me pulling my handbrake...
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, oof,
yeah.
This feels
sketchy,
too fast, like, you know what I mean?
Well,
so
100%, yeah.
It's a bit of a tricky one to explain. I don't know, I guess Like I'm full of nerves. Even now, I get in my drift car and before I go out on track, even for a demo day, palms sweaty. Do you know what I mean? And like, you know,
Butterflies.
Yeah, don't quite Eminem, but yeah,
Spaghetti.
yeah. But then as soon as my helmet goes on and I'm like, somebody's looking at me to start me off on the line, I just forget about all of it. Like,
Yeah.
you know, even if my car's a bit damaged or whatever, and I'm trying to look after something, totally forget about that.
Oh,
It
mate,
is what it is. If it
100%.
breaks, it breaks. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
I say to you like this all the time, I'm always like mechanical sympathy. I'm not going to be the SR anymore. I'm going to be more general sympathy when I go out. Literally, the moment I put my helmet on and pull away, it's fucking blow. If it dies, it dies. Fuck it.
Yeah. I drive my car around, my road car, like real gently, try and miss all the potholes. I'm like, but yeah, as soon as the helmet goes on the drift car, I don't really care.
I think that is everyone. I think it just takes over, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Literally takes over.
Yeah.
Like, you ain't know about mechanical sympathy. I swear you've got worse over the years, to be fair. I've been in the car with you and used to be super silky and soft, and now, like, the last time I got in the car with you, like, you kick the clutch more than I do. You're just beating holy living fucking piss out of it.
Thinking, I better not break a shaft. That'd be a little bit of sympathy, but.
Yeah, you definitely weren't giving that vibe when I was in the car,
I initiate, and I'm like, yeah, car's kind of doing what it wants to be doing. Like, transition, I'm like, fuck this, done. That's it.
It's
like
like
red mist, it's like, fucking happened.
Yeah, love that.
Yeah, there's that weekend at chasing you though, when you took your bumper and the spoiler off. And like, I don't know, it's really predictable where you're going. It's really easy to get close. But at one point, because I was showed your bumper and it was hanging out, I was like, that's a good clip point now. So I was there on transition trying to get his bumper. And at one point I got a bit too keen on it. And as he comes out as a video, I'm like, oh fuck, on the hydro a little bit to kind of delay my transition. So I was going to wipe his ass end now. It's like, ooh.
Oh yeah, but I do that all the time. I transition flat behind somebody and I'm like squinting because I think I'm going to take the front end of the car off. And someone shows me a video and I'm a car length behind them and I'm like nowhere near. I'm like, what?
I always say this to people and they're like, oh, I really want to learn to get closer to people. And it's like, when you're 20 with someone as such, how close you have to be dooring. Put the mark on their door. It's literally the distance between you and I. It's only bits of metal. That's what you're trying to explain to people. When you think you're so close to crashing.
It feels like a crash.
You need to almost touch someone to learn how to be that close. Because it's so hard to explain to someone how physically close you have to be.
I grew up at like Birmingham Wheels. And
perfect place.
I think it was a good place because, like, I managed to link the track the first time I ever drove it. I was doing quite a bit of street-o. I don't know, maybe I should go into this a bit more, but yeah, we'll start off. But it was good because you could link the track, and then like it was quite not easy to run the wall, but it was a consistent wall. The wall was it's all the way around, so it's quite easy to. So it almost left you a lot more time, a lot more. You could concentrate a bit more on twinning and getting on someone's door and like think about the transitions, and you could transition a bit later or a bit earlier and still make the corner, if you know what I mean, rather than being at somewhere like Three Sisters or Teesside where you've got loads of different varieties and slowing down, speeding up.
Because every corner's different.
Like Birmingham Wheels, it was literally just
two corners
gear,
almost,
two corners, one mangy.
Yeah.
So it sort of took that element out of it, so you could concentrate on getting close to people and stuff. Do you know what I mean? Which was good fun, really.
Yeah.
Like, we had some good times at Birmingham Wheels, to be fair.
And nothing really feels as good as dooring your mate.
Yeah.
And when I say dooring, I mean like a tyre mark, not fucking crashing into them. That's not twinning. I hate that when people are like, mate, I doored him, show you a video, and they're literally pretty much straight and just crash into someone. You're like, what dick move? Like,
I'm sure you've done that to me.
Nah, mate. That was out of anger though.
Yeah.
My car didn't work, so.
I had that the first time my mum ever came to a drift event. I got a mate who had an M3 and I was in my E36. And I just said to him, can you go out and just give me some real wide, slow lines just so I can get right on your door? Because we were going around that way, so it had been my passenger. So my mum was getting on their door, and I was just like, I want to get real close to you just to give her a real buzz. And for some reason, they let out an MX-5 and an E36 compact behind us. And I'm watching back the video. Me and my mate are like twinning and real close, like real good all around the track. And these two lads behind us are literally straight line in the straights. They're just like kamikaze throwing it in. And the one literally hit the side of my car, bananaed my sill. And it was the same thing.
Mate.
Got out, oh mate, that was wicked. Got right on your door. And I was like, not really, mate. You sort of come through my door there a little bit. Like that.
Straight at me, pulled the hydro, and hit me.
Yeah, I don't mind if I can kick it out and there's a little mark. That's fine.
Yeah,
You know
that's
what
what I
I
mean.
mean?
If you get little nudges and stuff, it happens. A tyre mark, a nudge, a tyre mark is perfect.
Yeah, when I got to get the
Nudge,
grinder and the
nudge.
welder out to fix it, you've gone a bit too.
I think that's the trophy for us, isn't it? Tyre mark. Not dent, then tyre mark. If you can leave that bit of tyre, that's our trophy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
go to
yeah.
someone's car that you've been out with, and you look around the side of their car, and they've got a nice tyre mark at the side of it. You're like,
Yeah.
cool.
But I mean, even in drift league though, like that's not required.
Of course it's not.
You know, you don't need to be
Nah,
doing
no,
people
no.
at all. Like, do you know what I mean? I mean, like flipping out. I mean, you spoke about Cuba before, and,
Oh, I love
and
Cooper's
you know,
driving, man. He's so
no,
good.
no power. He's just on the line. He doesn't. You know, he didn't need to get that close to people because he had such a good line. And do you know what I mean? As long as he was within a certain proximity, it was good enough. You know, so it's not like you've got to be dooring people. As long as you're within that pocket, the judges are going to. Yeah, that's fine. You know, it's good enough.
There's
Yeah.
more things. The thing is, the closer you get to someone, the more you can fuck yourself over as well.
Yeah.
Because you can close yourself into that pocket, and
Yeah,
then when
yeah,
they
yeah.
transition, it's like, oh, fuck there.
Well, that's a big thing you need to learn for like drift league, isn't it? Because
It's
like,
being in the right place at the right time, transitioning.
Well,
Right.
Yeah.
is that they're looking for you to keep that proximity. So if you're like this, when you go transition, you have to back out of it to do it. That's not keeping proximity. Whereas if you're like this,
I mean, you can make dives and then back. Obviously, if you make a dive and get on someone's door, you have to back out of it to give them room to transition, right? But I don't know. Yeah,
It's a big learning curve, isn't it?
Yeah. It's good. Like you need to learn like how to get on someone's door and then back off. Like left foot brake helps. So
Yeah,
left foot brake.
I'm a fucker for it.
Yeah.
I didn't have a hydro until the beginning of this year.
Okay.
So I've had one in the car. It's never
Yeah.
worked. So I've only ever left foot brake.
Are you on a pedal box? So you still got a booster?
That's a booster.
See, I could never left foot brake when I had a booster. I've only been able to do it now really properly since I had a pedal box.
I take out my pads out the rear after like 3 events, and they're still exactly the same size.
Yeah,
I take them out and they fall apart because they're just so that hot. They're just not working. So like every video with me that like Toby's done, that you can just see my fucking brake lights.
Yeah.
I'm a nightmare, bro. I've tried much harder this year not to left foot brake so much. Try and use a bit more hydro and stuff. But...
With my pedal box, you have to stand on the front brake to get them to work.
So whereas
you
spend years learning not to stand on it.
Yeah.
Like,
this is like why a lot of people like go, if I've tried left foot braking in my car going down the motorway and I went straight for the windscreen.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, yeah, but when you see racers, most of them have got pedal boxes, you have to stand on your foot brake to get them to work.
Yeah.
So you've got a way more feel there. It's not just a light touch and they lock up. You know what I mean? It is a bit different. You know, it's not quite the same, is it?
We stay on it a little bit too long and then you lose the servo and then the pedal goes hard anyway.
Man, at times I've had that, yeah. You start off going around and you're like kind of close to someone and you just, because my car's quite ferocious, so once it's on boost, you're great.
Yeah.
It drops off, so shit. So instead of putting a hydro, I always keep fucking flat out and then use the brake.
Yeah.
And after a while of like 4 corners doing that, and then the pedal goes really hard and you've gone from being gentle with it to fucking yanking on it like, stop! Stop! Yeah.
I don't really, I only really left foot brake when I have to.
Yeah. I probably do it way too much.
I never left foot brake when I'm leading, really.
No.
It's only in a chase that I'll left foot brake. And then I'll almost choose a handbrake over a left foot brake most of the time. It's only like certain tracks on certain corners that I feel like the T-side's a good example. Getting a bit left foot braking around a big bank at T-side because you've got plenty of time. You can adjust and get close. But most of the time when it's on the tighter stuff, I feel like it's safer for me to have a quick dab of the hydro than to try and get on the left foot brake. Because you get on the left foot brake, you can get understeer, you can push too hard, lock the front up, drop out of boost. You know what I mean? And then like if you drop out of boost, at least when you're on the hydro, you get it back up again, can't you, when you're getting off the hydro, you know? So like I watch James Dean and he will still use the hydro quite a lot of the time.
Yeah.
You know, the left foot braking. So
the way I've always been taught it, anyway, I got taught it and it's always stuck in my head, is the left foot is controlling the drift. The hydro is for dragging the drift out.
Matt Denham once said to me years ago that if you want to get further out on a corner, use your hydro, and if you want to come further in on a corner, use your left foot brake.
Yeah.
So when you left foot brake, the car will automatically get more angle and start
putting it more in.
Yeah.
For sure. I like that I can sit here and say, oh yeah, I do this and that. To be fair, I don't know what I do half the time. I just can get in and hope for the best, to be honest. Yeah.
Only since I've had my golf, I've started really playing around with like left foot braking and different bits and stuff and trying to, get a bit more technical. I've been drifting.
Yeah, 100%. It's always trying to learn, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, until I see so I've got the inside camera Driftland. And it's only then I start realising what I'm like when I'm driving, because you just don't think of it, do you? You just
A lot of it is just second nature, isn't it?
Yeah. And I feel like if you do think about it, usually you fuck up.
Yeah, you make mistakes.
I watched the inside video and I was like, fucking hell, I use the hydro a lot. I'm driving, I'm drifting, one hand on the wheel, the other hand's on the hydro constantly. I'm just like, I need to get out.
Yeah.
I have found the hydro is quite good actually though.
I did 5-6 years or something with barely using hydro.
Yeah, but that's because you were drifting with me all the time, and I was like, don't use the hydro shit.
I had a stock M50 for like the whole time I've ever drifted, like, so very rarely ever use the hydro.
Yeah, just full throttle.
Yeah, like T-side.
Full throttle and loads of clutch kicks.
I had a 444 ratio diff out of an automatic, so it was like fourth gear into T-side, and it was like a clutch kick. You couldn't hydro because then you'd scrub too much speed off, and then that wouldn't be enough. And then it wasn't even enough that I could clutch kick. I used to have to just get on it early enough, and it'd just be like, "Wah!" And I'd just make it into that little way, pulled the hydro and got into the hairpin. Like,
Yeah.
but if I tried to clutch kick, it just didn't have enough. It was
It's so depressing, isn't it? It's just no. It's like, come on.
I feel like that did me loads of justice. Like, we were talking about this off camera. Like, that Beamer that I had, the shocks were blown. I never did any bushes or bearings. They're all screwed. I had a mix mash of tyres. I had Josh King's lock mods, which I've still got on my Golf.
Nice.
I've had those that the whole time I've always been drifting. I've never had any other lock mod. But it was just real basic and simple. And my attitude was, I refuse to spend any money on my practice car, because if it gets shitter, then I've got to get better to drive around it. Like, so in theory, once I had an S13 like I was building, or still have got, but I always had the plan of like, once the S13 comes out, that'll be me. And then I'll get out the Beamer into the 13 and be like, oh, wow, this is amazing, like, you know?
And somewhere along the line, you built a dog.
Yeah. So, yeah. What, do you want to get onto that? Or?
Yeah, well, why not? So, like I said, like,
Why a dog?
yeah, what? I mean,
Okay.
it's fucking epic. It's not like that,
That was cool. Yeah.
I'll try and keep this short, I guess.
Do we need a cup of tea before?
Yeah.
Can we pause in a cup of tea or just go for it?
So, like, I had a few of my mates had Mark II Golfs when I was a kid. So I bought a Mark II Golf, and I always loved the Mark II Golf. And I had a few, and then I was a plumber at the time, a fully qualified heat engineer. And then I bought a 20 valve turbo, and then me and a mate like decided just to throw it in one day, because the beauty about Volkswagens is that, you know, they literally just bolt straight in, and then a bit of fannying around or whatever. And then once I had that was pretty cool. It was like 200 brake or whatever, and it was pretty nippy and pretty cool. And then I started going to a few car meets and stuff, and then some of the boys at the car meets had Skylines and Beamers, and then we'd go and do a car meet or whatever, and then those boys would be like, right, we'll see you all later. We're going to go off and do some like street ho. I'm not encouraging street ho. We'll get onto that.
Time to change.
And I always wanted to go with them, but they'd never let me go because I wasn't in a drift car. And they're like, we don't need extra cars. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I've got my McDonald's trays with
yeah. I was happy just to watch, like, but understandably, they didn't want bystanders watching them. It was already illegal enough, right?
Yeah.
So then somebody offered me an E36 with a welded diff for 323.
Right.
It was just a welded diff, and then I bought that for 500 quid. And my beloved Mark II Golf just got parked up and left in the garage. And then I just drove around in this banger of an E36.
Having the best time, like.
Having the best time, like. It was wicked fun, like. We used to go down. So it started with me, really. We used to go down to Avonmouth.
Right.
And I'm pretty safe in saying this, but they were building the industrial estate down Avonmouth at the time. And they'd built the infrastructure, but none of the buildings.
Oh, mate.
So you could go down there. Yeah, there was a big roundabout right at the bottom, and there was no buildings around at all. There was this one roundabout, and we used to go down there with like the disposable barbecues, and we'd pitch up there for the day. And at the time when we first started drifting, the roundabout, it was good enough. Like, we'd set up a few clipping points, and we'd have to go around this tyre and just fuck around. And then it progressed then, and like a few boys went, oh, shall we go to Cheddar Gorge tonight?
Yeah.
And then I started going up to Cheddar Gorge, which I really don't condone that. Like, it was fucking stupid and I shouldn't have done it. But wow. What a place. Like, I'd love to close that place.
Imagine if they actually did that
Like,
for a day.
oh, it'd be
I actually tried
Don't-
organising
don't-
that
don't-
years ago.
No,
Like, I
mate.
actually spoke to the police and everything, but they obviously wouldn't do that.
No,
But
why
I did
would they?
try it.
I got a mate, Joe Timmy. Sorry, Tim, I can't remember your second name off the top of my head. You put it on the spot. But he had an R33 Skyline, big screamer pipe.
Right, yeah, fuck
Do
yeah.
you know what I mean?
Oh, through there as well.
I got a great video of me chasing him in my Beamer, and I'm like on his door, round Cheddar Gorge, pitch black. You can only see our headlights, and it's
Oh, mate, that's so fucking cool.
Do you know what I mean? It was
Very
wicked.
bad.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. Like
yes.
the one day we went up there, I think it was mental. Like, we used to get those spare tires and jacks, like empty
It
like,
gets silly,
cars and
doesn't it?
lay-by, and like we just
It gets silly.
ding like that. But in our defence, we did have people with radios, and there were loads of people who would sit around the corners and watch.
Yeah.
And it was at night; you could see lights coming the other way. Like
You'll-
in all the time that we were doing that, there was never an accident.
Yeah.
Well, I crashed my car into the wall, but that was my own fault.
There was an accident with member of public. It
Yeah,
was
no,
horrible.
yeah. No member of public, and like I do remember like drifting and somebody coming and everyone stopping. And,
Yeah.
But I'm still not condoning it. I still wouldn't do it, and I definitely
It's hard
wouldn't do
now anyway. The police are a lot more switched on to it.
Yeah.
10, 11, 12
That was-
years ago, it's completely
yeah.
different. It was a grey area, wasn't it?
I was
Police didn't really know what to do
stupid
about
and
it.
immature. Like I will.
It was
Point
very
that
different.
out.
It was very different. I remember doing
Yeah.
it, like when I first met you and stuff. And we definitely didn't go to like a roundabout and sit there for ages. But
No.
at the time, it was pretty much the same. It was a brand new
Yeah.
roundabout in the middle of two dual carriageways.
Yeah.
I mean, there was
Yeah.
nothing around, and I mean, the police would even drive past sometimes. And
Yeah,
it'd just
yeah,
be
yeah.
like,
Well, when we were in Avonmouth, we used to have the security guards come down, and they'd sit and watch us from
Yeah.
yeah.
because they would rather us do that than graffiti in the building. Do you know what I mean?
Well,
Yeah.
this is it, yeah.
I mean, Cheddar Gorge was out of order, really. I mean, we went up there the one day, and there was a Vosa van up there, 4 riot vans and 3 police cars or whatever.
Shit.
And there was
Did a
like
very quick
there was,
U-turn
12,
on the
well,
road.
there was 12 of us, and I was the one who was leading the queue, and I just drove straight through Cheddar Gorge, straight up the other end, and I never went back. I haven't been back since like. Do you know what I
I'd
mean?
say I was,
Yeah.
And that's when I started going to Birmingham Wheels. And I think I did one day at Birmingham Wheels and went, bugger me, I've learned more today than what I have done in the last 3 months.
Yeah.
I
me
think that's
doing
very
street art.
much the difference as well of
And I
like,
loved it. And it was like, why would I ever go back to doing street art?
it's hell of a different thing.
You know?
You're instantly more relaxed.
Yeah.
Instantly drive better.
Yeah.
And there's
And you,
more
can,
places
and you
you
can
can
keep
do it
doing
now.
that same corner over and over and over and over
Well,
again.
you're not worrying
like,
about other people. You're not worrying about the police. You're not worrying about stacking a car.
Mm.
It's so much easier. You can push so much harder, and
Yeah.
Concentrate on the driving rather than all the other aspects.
Yeah. And you,
coming up to a corner, turn your lights off to see if there's any headlights coming, turn them back on.
yeah. Not
I thought it was just because your cars are so shit headlights, you just stop working.
But yeah, sorry, we've got massively sidetracked there, didn't we? So, yeah. So I had the Beamer, and then I was a plumber back then, and then I started fabricating. I bought an S13 that was rotten. So
You bought an S30.
yeah.
You don't need to add the wrong thing.
Yeah.
You bought an S30.
So I
yeah.
taught myself how to weld that up, and then one thing led to another. I quit my plumbing job. I worked for a fabricator briefly for a couple of months, and then he closed his business down. And then I started Muscle Motorsport. And then
No way. So you basically taught yourself.
yeah, pretty much. Like the guy that I worked for, I did a tube front end for him, and I made a couple of tyre racks. And I did some rust repair on a Mark II Golf and a rust repair on something else as well. So yeah, when I started Massad Motorsport, it was Josh King. Big shout out to Josh King. He gave me a corner in his workshop, him and his dad's workshop, and I started Massad Motorsport out of that. And I bought an old E36, did it up, sold it, made a bit of money in the first 2 weeks. And then a guy called Curtis Podge, hello Curtis, he came to me with a roll cage that somebody had done, and they hadn't welded it. And he said, can I bring it over and you weld it up for me? So he brought it over, and it turned out the whole roll cage was done out of seamed tube, not seamless.
Yeah, so it's scrap.
So I said to him, I'm not going to touch it. We ended up getting the money back off the guy. I put my new roll cage in, and then that's when I started doing roll cages. But like that was like straight on YouTube. I told Curtis at the time I'd never done a roll cage, but like we were friends sort of thing. He was
He
just
was
like,
happy
I'm sure
to
you'll do a good job. And like, yeah. And I still look back at Curtis's roll cage now, and he'll still say the same thing to you guys. It's still a good bloody roll cage.
Yeah.
I always sort of look back at it and cringe. I don't. And then fast forwards a few years to when I got a bit more settled, and I got another E36, started drifting, did a bit, and then My brother-in-law had a Mark 1 Golf, just a bare shell. He put me 30 rear beam in it, actually.
Right.
And he said, like, do you want it? 500 quid. Tin tire door. And I was like, yeah, steal. I'll have that. Stuck it up on my knee. Had no intention to do anything with it at all. And then 3 months later, we got into Christmas, and I was looking at my E36, and I was looking at the Golf. I had a bit of time off over the winter, and like, I did a bit of Googling, and my Golf's 2.4 meters, which is like 100 mil longer than an MX-5. So I was like, wow,
It's going to work. Yeah.
that should work, and did some more measuring, and decided I was going to build the Mark 1, like, because I had the S13 in my workshop, and it's like the S13's got a cage in it, it's got a full tube front end, it's got mad bead rolling, like a picture of a turbo in the wheel well, it's got my company logo on the other side, and
so
I want my
nice,
I want my S13 to be like a Drift Masters Pro Spec car.
Yeah.
But like, I don't have 100 grand to sink into it, and I don't want to build it as a lesser car, really. It's one day it'll get built, but just not anywhere near that.
It's because it's not just, if you're going for that kind of spec, it's not just like the fabrication, which you can do.
Yeah, it's easy.
The engine, it's
Yeah,
the differential, it's the windows, it's everything else.
Literally, like I'll go into cost of my Golf in a minute, but like to build my S13,
you sure you're ready for that?
It'd be like 4 times the price.
Oh yeah,
because I wouldn't build my S13 and leave a standard fucking SR20 gearbox in it.
No, of course you wouldn't.
You're gonna put a sequential in it, put a Winters in it. Do you know what I mean? It'd be an upgrade from my Golf, like, so I couldn't afford to do that. And then I thought, well, I want to build something that's unique.
Yeah.
Something that no one else has got, because I can, because that's my trade and it's going to show off my work, but I don't have loads of money to put into it. So, like, what can I do to be unique and different
with what you got?
With a little bit of money, you know what I mean? We're on a strict budget. Like, so, I thought, screw it. My Mark 1 Golf, it's going to be really light, so therefore I don't need masses of horsepower.
Yeah.
I can stay on a 15-inch tyre. Do you know what I mean? Like, that means I can,
well.
Like, originally I was going to build that car as a demo car, and it was going to be NA, and then I got sponsored a manifold, and then a turbo, and then that's it all without.
Yeah, sweet.
So like the Golf's only got an MX-5 rear end in it, which does hold up. Like the diff holds 400 horsepower. It's 350 to the rear hubs, so about 400 to the flywheel.
Fuck, that's awesome.
But that's a standard, like the engine I bought for my E36. And I dropped it in there. I didn't even change the oil in it when I bought it. I just put it in the Beamer and used it. I think I used it for like 3-4 years, probably changed the oil twice. Never changed the spark plugs. It done 200,000 miles when I got it, 190,000 miles when I got it. And then, I literally put an ARP head studs in the block.
Yeah.
Josh put a fancy head gasket in it. Not a decompression plate or anything like that. Still stop compression. It's just got a real nice head gasket in it. And that's it.
Is it 2.8?
No, it's 2.5. It's an M50.
It's a 2.5. Oh, it's a 50, right?
It's the cast iron block.
Yeah.
Screw these aluminium blocks. People always say to me, I'm thinking about doing a 330, and I'm like, wow, it is what it is. Do what you want, but like, I can guarantee you an M50 is going to be good for
big money now, though. In the 50s.
Are they?
I think so.
When you saw big money, what are you talking about?
Like 1,500 quid.
Yeah, for a full setup. I bet you could pick a short block up for 500 quid.
Well, I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think you can. Not for a 50, yeah.
I've seen a couple of that.
Still way cheaper than anything else, though, isn't it?
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like,
it is. Yeah.
And like Josh King, his engine, he's got forged pistons and rods. I think he's done a bit of valve work because you get a valve float or something. I'm not a mechanic, so I couldn't tell you exactly what was going on, but he's had a bit of head work done. But his engine makes 725 horsepower. That's done for last. He's in the 7th year.
Yeah, that's mental.
Yeah, that never goes wrong with it.
Do you know what I mean? I'm not trying to blow smoke up anyone's ass, and I'm not sponsored by Greg, but me and Josh both use Greg Gush at ProTune, and I got nothing bad to say against the guy. Like, look at my engine. Like, do you know what I mean? I went to him and he was like, I'm not here to make numbers.
Yeah, just
couldn't give a flying monkey's what I make, because it's going to make more power than a standard, which is all good for me.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. I just want it safe. I want to be reliable. You've got to be in it to win it.
You want to beat it.
Yeah. I'm not, as much as I'm a fabricator, I'll fit you a different engine in a different car or whatever. But when it comes down to like all
the nitty gritty of the engine.
Josh, sort this out for me, mate. Do you know what I mean? He's the master mechanic. So Yeah, I don't want any issues. I don't want any problems. I just want to take my car to a drift day, drift it, take it home, give it a service, and it's ready to go again. And that's exactly what my Golf has done for the last 2 years.
Yeah, it's been hell reliable, isn't it?
Yeah.
And any issues?
No.
It is awesome.
So break the shaft every now and again, that's about it.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably we were talking about this on camera again, weren't we? How gripped up you are now as well.
Yeah. So my specs are, I run a Sestino medium 195 50/15, and I run them on
50/15. That's fucking mad.
I run them on like 15 psi, probably is the lowest I'll go. Yeah. Because I run I've got a 9J wheel, so I run stretch.
That's quite stretch then.
Yeah, quite a bit of stretch.
Yeah, well, you can see that when you look at the
Well, you got to get fit.
It does look, it does look right.
Drifting, you still got to look cool. I'm like, because I build drift cars, right, I'm all about function. It's got to perform right. Do you know what I mean? And like my Golf, when I built it, I wanted it to be low as anything. But my rear subframe, if ever you look underneath my Golf, all my lower arms are still in the standard geometry of what it would be in a standard MX-5. Probably one of the reasons why it is
fast.
There's a lot of grip, like, but then that Martin Richards aligns my car for me, and then I've got the straw die rear arms. So I run, 28 mil of toe in on the rear.
Fucking hell.
0.5 degree of camber.
That's quite a lot, isn't it? 28 degree.
Yeah, a lot. Loads. Literally, if you look at my car, it looks broken. Like the back wheels point in like that.
Ben's car always looks broken. It's usually fucking broken.
So basically, Martin gave me loads of toe in my first year, and then I bent something, and I did. No, that was it. He gave me loads of toe in, and they were rubbing my arches because I made my arch. It was a fuck up on my half, really. I made my arches when the wheel was on like 0 degree toe in. Took it to Martin. He wound a load of toe in on it. The front wheel, the wheels moved forwards in the arches and started rubbing the arches. So then, at the beginning of this year, I moved my arches, and I thought, wow, there's no point having a bit of toe in. I may as well just wind all of it.
All of it.
So I stuck all of it in, made the arches to suit, and then took it to Martin. He was like, wow, this is throwing quite a lot on the back. And I was like, what, too much? And he's like, wow, does it drive okay? I was like, drives mint. He's like, well, leave it then.
How do you find tyre wear though?
Mint.
Yeah.
Perfect. But yeah, Martin, so I pretty much run the same kind of specs as what he does on his R32.
Right.
But yeah, my car, and then I've got BC coilovers, like the fancy ones with this remote.
Separate little.
Yeah. So I've got, so I can control my bump and rebound. So my rebound's on as soft as it can go, and my bump's on as hard as it can go.
Right.
If I've got that the right way around, I'll have that the right. Matt Smith. In the comments. Correct me, please. But yeah, so basically the car's really soft to go down.
Yeah.
And then it's hard for it to come back up again.
So it just stays down and grips.
So the idea is, it
Squat,
tries to keep it in squat. So when you're transitioning and you're getting off power and you're getting back on power, the car's
just gripping
already settled, if you know what I mean. But
yeah.
I have to run so much grip because I run a 195 50/15.
Yeah.
Like really, I could do with putting a 17 on it and a 265. But then, one, it's going to make the car look shit. Two, my MX-5 diff will not stick that 100%. So now I've got to get a new diff. Getting the new diff is fine. I can get a BMW diff and I can mount it in there myself. It'll probably take me a weekend. But then I'm £1,500 for shafts and a new prop. And then if I break a shaft, I'm £1,000 for another pair of shafts. And I can't just buy a pair of shafts. I've got to get some friction welded by a special company. And it's just
do you feel like that would really benefit you that much? No, I was going to say, I don't feel like...
No.
I've never watched you drift and gone, I reckon if Jamie had some more, like a bigger tyre, he would be better. Like, you know,
the one thing I struggle with my car is I get dicks down the line, off the straight, down the straight.
Apart from his lorry, we hope that story.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, or Mark. Did you ever see that video of me and Mark? So, like, because I always get dicked off the line, and I think it's just because I struggle to put my power down because I'm on such a small
It just
tyre.
slips up, sort of thing.
But for some reason, when I'm in drift, the person that's just dicked me down the straight, I can catch back up to without cutting track. Or do you know what I mean? It's almost like the car's quicker sideways.
Savagely on side.
So, like, yeah, if you ask anyone, Martin Richards, Matt Smith, anyone, Martin Wanacott or whatever, Matt Smith or anybody like that, they'll know that when I'm chasing, I leave before them.
Because you're just trying to keep up.
I will literally. It's a dangerous game to play.
Yeah.
It's a dangerous game to play, but I have to leave that split second before them because then Martin Wanacott or Matt or whatever, they will come back past me. And you've got to be confident that they will come back past you. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think it was Mark Brown. He was in his S13, and I went up to chase him, and I did exactly what I normally do, and he just stayed on the line. He was like, "What the fucking hell's Jamie doing? Why is he leaving before me? I'm the lead car or whatever." And like, there's a video of me going, "Right, I'm going to chase Mark now, and he's real fast, so I'm going to have to get a jump on him." And I jumped, and I'm like, "Mark, where the fuck you gone?" "Oh, I don't mind, let's go."
Yeah, inside his car as well, isn't there? And he just doesn't really, just kind of looks at you.
Yeah, like, what's Jamie doing? But yeah, so like I have to get a bit of a jump. But I mean, yeah, I reckon bigger tyres would probably be more helpful.
But not.
Yeah,
financially, it wouldn't give you. It wouldn't be that big of a jump.
Yeah, no, like I'd have to like redo my car and then the drivetrain to put a bigger tyre on it, which I don't really want to do. And like I haven't changed my car since the day I built it.
And it worked.
I've done nothing. Like, well, going back to Matt Smith, I watched him, like I built his E46. So I did all the fab work on his E46, so tube front, rear mount, rad cage and everything. And we did that car, and he used it for what, 4 years in Drift League?
Yeah, well, he used it.
I don't think he changed. Like, I don't get me wrong, Matt's always tweaking this
Yeah,
and tweaking that, but it's not like he
Yeah.
changed the engine or the turbos or the diff or do you know what I mean? He was just,
It's just race shoes and stuff.
he just,
Higher pressures.
yeah. So he just literally learnt the car, and I was just like, wow, that's kind of what I think.
I feel like you pretty much got the most out of that car again.
Yeah, so I want to try and get the most out of my car, and I don't feel like my car's holding me back at the moment.
Well, the thing is, you've learned to drive, like you said, you have to leave that split second earlier because you've now learned to use the car and have it that it's competitive. And you are competitive with it. So if you start changing stuff, you have to relearn it. Of it. And it's just, there's no need for it.
Well, I spoke to, somebody said to me about, you want to get like speak to BC and try and get another set of rear coilovers so you can, and then do this and do that so you can have like a wet setup and a dry setup. And I spoke to Martin Richards, who was doing my alignment. I spoke to him about it, and he said, "No, Ben." He said, "You are better off." He said, "Now, like, you can change your tyre pressures, but leave all your setup and all your alignment exactly the same, because then all you've got to do is learn the track conditions. You haven't got to go out, learn the track conditions, and learn a new setup on top of that." He said, "You're better off just sticking with the same setup, driving around it or whatever, and it's familiar, and you're going to do better. Okay, the other setup might be better, but do you understand what I'm trying to say?"
100%. It's a whole other thing to learn.
Yeah, and I feel like I'm not Jamie D. I don't know anything.
I heard you were Jamie D.
Yeah. Well, my name is actually James.
Long lost brother.
But yeah, so I just think, for me, I don't change my alignment at all, whether it's wet, dry, this track, that track. All I do is change tyre pressures, and I just try and learn the car and like learn what to do. Do you know what I mean?
Do you go up or down in that tyre pressure?
I don't really change them.
Just keep them the same.
Yeah, it's like 15 psi whether it's wet or dry.
Yeah.
Because like people say you should like soften your car up in the wet. Well, my car's maximum soft.
Yeah, so you can't soften out.
I can't get any more grip out of it. Like, this is the issue with my tyres. Like, so this is something that maybe it would be better if I go into a 17, because like most of the guys out there are on like a mediocre setup for their tyre, and they're still fast and competitive. But then when it rains, they can dial in more grip. So like, I can't. So like in the wet, I do struggle for speed a little bit against other people. I find my car's much faster in the dry. And there ain't really much I can do about that.
Yeah. That's it. You are set where you're set, sort of thing.
Yeah. I mean, it makes life easy in the pits. Do you know what I mean? Just throw some fresh rubber on it and fuel it up. And
have a roll, off you go.
Yeah, literally. Like, it's easy. Like, I don't even have a spotter, so it's like I just change tyres and go again.
So everyone else is there, sort their cars out now, and he's sat there having a cup of tea in his little gazebo, it's like with his family and that. You know, he's got a family, he's having a cup of tea. And
I had Alfie over last night. He just popped in to say hello, and he was saying that you were coming down to the podcast. And he was saying he remembers one of the first times he ever did Teesside.
Yeah.
And he said he turned up and he was on his own basically, and he was so excited that his car was working because he's just done a load of stuff to it.
Yeah.
And he was there and he was jacking his car up, changing his wheels, and he'd put all his stuff on, get in the car, and realise he's not taking the jack down. And he said he'd look over at you and you'd be in the back of your van smoking a rod, he'd look at him going, wanker. And you'd come over and go, don't worry, I'll do it, put it down, but not all the way.
Yeah, I remember that. He had that big thing on his bonnet, that looked dude with a smoke and a whatever. Is that right?
I don't know. I didn't even say when it was, but he just said
that was many years ago.
Yeah.
Good times.
It's just funny.
Yeah.
I can just picture it. Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
I think we should just quickly talk about the Golf a little bit, just because obviously I know we talked about it off camera. So it's got the MX-5 rear subframe, MX-5 rear diff, MX-5 rear shafts.
Yeah, everything MX-5 on the back.
So all the hard everything, MX-5.
Yeah.
Front subframe.
Yeah, all E36.
So the whole front of the car is E36.
Yeah. Subframe, steering rack, engine mounts, engine, shocks, everything. Everything is E36. I literally cut the whole front end of the Golf off. Took a load of measurements off my E36 that was outside and just replicated it in the front of my Mark 1 Golf, basically. With
So you got a custom prop to go from, basically.
Yeah, I had to get a custom prop made, which was like 400 quid or something.
Did you not make it and just send off the balance it?
No, it didn't.
What?
Because it was 400 quid. It was going back to what we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, I suppose, for the time for you.
Like, yeah.
Probably still spend 200 or 300 quid.
Getting a balance.
Yeah, and like,
to be fair,
and they did it, and I still had to get it rebalanced after they gave it to me. The first year, it used to vibrate at real high speed, and I had to send it back to them, and they balanced it at, I don't really know much about this, but they balanced it at like 5,200 RPM, because that's the average RPM a race car would be in.
Right.
They were trying to say or something.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I sit on the fucking limit all day long. Mate.
Yeah.
So can you balance it like 6.5? I guess my car I think red lines at 6.8.
Right.
It's got a low rev limit. Reliability. Yeah. So it was just that. And then like everything in between. I think the bits of floor that the bucket seats are attached onto is still Mark 1, and I've still got Mark 1 Golf sills. But like the whole gearbox is custom, the whole front firewall is custom, the whole rear firewall is custom. Like from behind my seat where I'd sit, I cut the floor out and cut the whole boot floor out.
Fucking hell.
So there's nothing in the back of the car.
Do you know how much it weighs?
Yeah, £1,000. Like
£1,000?
It's 1,007 kilos to be precise. That's full of water, full of fuel, full of oil, full of everything.
Lot.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be I was hoping it was going to be under a ton. I was hoping for like 940, 950 maybe.
Well built though, there's quite a lot of tube in it.
Yeah.
So
like that car.
Just the car without you in it then?
Yeah, that's without me in it.
So I have to say, you go from a fact shit before, it's not going to help.
No, that's without me.
That's something out,
But it's not, when I built it, I wasn't trying to build a light drift car.
It naturally was always going to be quite a light drift car.
Yeah. I mean, it was always going to be a light drift car, but then with the amount of tube that I've got in it, with like a tube, it being pretty much a tube chassis, it's always going to be pretty weighty, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, the misconception is, I had a guy come to me once with an S15 and it was a track car, and he booked in for a tube rear end.
Right, so we stopped for a cup of tea. We're going to carry on now. So, as we were talking about, I came to you for S15 rear tube end.
Yeah, I think I was gibbering on a little bit.
We were talking about like...
A guy came to me as a track car, basically, and he wanted a tube rear end, and I asked him, like, if he was a drifter, because I assumed he was a drifter, and he was like, no, I'm not. I literally want a tube rear end because I want to make the car lighter.
Yeah.
And he had a clamshell or whatever, and it's just like, well... It ain't going to be lighter. Do you know what I mean? Like,
it'll be stronger.
It'll be stronger, and when you put it into a wall backwards, it will probably be a bit better. Do you know what I mean? But then, even saying that though, actually, that's probably a bit false, because in a high speed crash, you are probably better off with a completely standard chassis, because Nissan, BMW, whatever, spent millions of pounds making sure that was going to crumple. And then who the hell am I to come along with me welder and me tube bend and go, I can make this better? Do you know what I mean? Like, the reason we do a tube rear end is because usually I would put the fuel cell behind the diff. So I want to make a rear cradle and something strong that's going to protect that for when someone does drive into the back of you. And we put like lighter tube work around the outside, so when we're drifting and we're touching walls, or if someone does crash into the back of you lightly, it's all good. We can replace the tube, maybe a new clamshell, you're away to go again. We're never going to have a massive accident. You know, you're not going to go 100 mile an hour backwards into the barrier.
Yeah. Hope not.
I mean, it's unlikely.
I haven't seen it yet.
No,
You know what I mean?
I
mean, there has been some bad crashing drifting, but on a whole, we're pretty slow speed crashes.
Yeah, it's a lot of wheel speed, a lot of smoke, a lot of noise, but realistically, the actual speed of the vehicles is way down on them. Like,
Yeah. I suppose this would be good to go on to building cars as well, like, because like we were just talking about this whilst we were making a cup of tea, that I feel like a lot of people try and build James Dean's car.
Is this an unpopular opinion?
Yeah.
Right, so we're getting to the unpopular opinion.
Oh, right, yeah.
Jamie, go.
No, like, I see it quite a bit where you'll have somebody and they'll want to build the best car or one of the better cars in Drift League that's really competitive, and they'll spend 4 or 5 years building it, but they can't afford to run it. Like, I'm not trying to blow my own trumpet here, but my Golf is a standard ZF box, standard MX-5 rear end, standard shafts. It cost me 20 quid for a new shaft. I've got six of them in the back of the lorry. It takes me 10 minutes to change it. It's the only part of the car that breaks. So I'm totally happy with that. But like, if I blow my engine up, it's a standard N50.
Yeah.
It's probably a bit more than what I thought, but
still
maybe
budgets like
a couple of grand, like have another engine, ARP headsters, another head gasket, get it remapped, and I'm away again. Like, if I had a sequential or a Winton's quick change, like I saw Matt, his sequential box, he had to rebuild his, didn't he?
Yeah, he blew a hole in it. Yeah,
I couldn't afford to do that in between rounds.
No,
like personally, I'm not saying Matt's got loads of money or anything, but he's a bit more settled than
what
I am. Yeah, and he can do it himself.
He's probably done 90% of it himself.
Yeah. I just couldn't afford to do that, so that was a big thing when I built my Golf.
I've got chemical metal in it.
Yeah. That I had to build it to within my means. You know what I mean? I had to build it.
I think that's a very big topic.
Within my costs. Yeah. So like,
what do you reckon your Golf actually cost you? Bear in mind, I know it's hard because a lot of the labour you're going to have is free.
It's 85 grand it owes me.
Is it 85?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. I mean, I think, trying to think now, like I started building that Golf with 10 grand in my bank, and I worked it all out, and I had enough money to build the car. And I bought all the important bits with that 10 grand. Admittedly, like pulsar turbos helped me out with the turbo, AM autos helped me out with my manifold, blah, blah, blah. So, and like VC gave me my coilovers, Destroy or Die gave me my rear arms. So I managed to save a good 10 grand probably there. And then I probably did another 10 grand on top of that in bits that I couldn't even tell you about.
Yeah. Which everyone forgets about.
Yeah. So it's probably, not that you can believe it, but it's probably like 30 grand in bits.
I do believe it.
I mean, Pro Performance Metal sponsored the guys that I buy my tube work for all my cages and stuff. They got involved and sponsored me all the metal work for the car.
That's cool.
Yeah, it is really cool. But yeah, and then, so it was about 30 grand in parts, and then the rest was labour.
Yeah, which is...
So it's about 50 odd grand, 55 grand.
And not to take away from your car, but it's quite simple in some ways.
100%. Yeah, no, definitely. But when you look at, like, if you take all the parts off my car and stripped it down to a bare chassis, and you put the chassis over here and put the parts in this room over here, if you looked at the parts, you'd go, that's a basic drift car. But then when you went next door and looked at the chassis, you'd be like, whoa, that's fucking mental, like the amount of work that's involved.
And that's what people don't see. Yeah, let's go, oh, that's cool as fuck. But I don't see the time, the effort, the hours.
It took me just over 3 months to build the car. And I was working on customers' cars as well. But like I was doing like 110 hours a week, 7 days a week. Do you know what I mean? I was well on it. And like, I had the car rolling. I had the roll cage in it, the tube front with the engine sat in there, and the subframes in the car. I had it rolling within 4 weeks.
Yeah, I was pretty keen.
And then it took me another like 2 and a bit months to do the rest of it.
Yeah.
And like, so it's all the little bits that just take so much time. You know, when I do a tube front end, I can literally cut the front of the car off, whack the tubes in like a couple of days, a day and a bit or whatever. But to make all the bracketry to hold the headlights in, all the wings, and to make sure that it's all lined up as well.
Yeah.
Because you've only got to have that top bar that comes around here slightly on the piss. You don't notice it. Weld it all in, blah, start to fit the headlights, then all of a sudden the bracket for this headlight's that big and the bracket for this headlight's that big. And now it sticks out like a sore thumb and looks shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean, yeah.
So it's just like, people don't get it. Like, I can knock a roll cage out way quicker than I can do a tube front end.
Yeah, because it's not, because it's...
You know what I mean? It's
in and welding and stuff.
Yeah. So like, like if anybody's out there who wants to get into drifting, I thoroughly urge you not to go wild and try and think that you need a full tube rear end and a full tube. I'm doing myself out of work.
No, you do need it.
Well,
You
but
might need to go to Jamie.
the thing is, well, that's more important probably. If you've got a massive budget and you
Go
make
for
a lot of money, then it's more financially advisable for you to come to me and get a full build done straight off the bat. Because then if you do crash the front of it or crash the back of it, it's all tube, we can change it, it's fiberglass, blah, blah, it's going to be way cheaper to do that and it's going to be a way better car. However, if you're on a really small budget,
Which is 90% of the car.
don't do it.
Yeah.
Because what will happen is, right, what you're probably better off doing, stock like go and buy an E46 with a 330 in it, welded diff, bucket seats, hydro, fire extinguishers and a roll cage. Go and drift that for a couple of years. 90% of the people who do that will end up getting a missus, have some kids, start a
The car in
business,
the workshop, yeah.
and stop drifting anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the amount of people that have seen me build this mega flipping car and take 4 or 5 years and then they end up selling it because life's changed.
90%
And you think,
big
well,
project.
you could have had 4 or 5 years drifting around in a bash car and having loads of fun
I mean-
and save money. You know what I mean? It's,
Ever since our very first podcast, this has come up on every single one. Go and have fun.
Yeah.
Like, stop over fucking thinking it.
Yeah.
Go and have fun.
I mean, there are some guys that have more fun in the workshop than what they do on the drift track. That's not me.
Yeah.
I have way more fun on the drift track than I
Yeah.
do in the workshop. I had fun building my Golf, don't get me wrong, but I've got way more fun showing it off
Yeah.
than I do when I was building it, right? You know what I mean? And it's one of them. Like, I just think, look at, sorry, Cuba, to keep bringing your name up. But yeah,
Cuba, when you coming on?
yeah, you should come on. Standard E46 compact with a 330 in it and a welded diff.
Yeah.
Came fourth in the
Perfect.
championship.
Yeah.
If he can do it, why can't you?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You don't need a massive car, you know? Hopefully, we might be starting a Muswell Motorsport drift team next year.
Nice.
And we've got a couple of guys.
Can you elaborate on who these guys might be?
I don't think you'd know any of them. I mean, Dan Martin might be in it as well, but I'm still not sure whether he's
Is
going to
Dan
sell his car or not again. I'm not sure.
the one with black S?
Dan's the one with the Corolla. My teammate from Retro Nana. He's got a
I do know.
yellow K70 Corolla.
Oh, I fucking know the car.
Oh,
Yeah, the car.
800
Yeah.
horsepower, K24 turbo, the full shebang. He spent
Epic.
so much money. But I'm sorry, Dan, to use you as a bit of an example of this. If he would have bitten off a lot less, he'd have been out drifting last year, the year before. Maybe the car wouldn't have been as competitive, wouldn't have been as cool. He wouldn't have got the able to tick off that. I've built a cool car in my lifetime, but maybe he might have had more fun drifting than
Yeah, spending time with
he's
the
had
boys
the
out
last
in
3
drifting.
years of absolute hell
Yeah.
trying to get this car together, and now he's like just lost interest. He's got a family, he's got a missus, you know. I'm sure his missus is probably getting fed up of the money going out all the time and stuff, you know. I'm not trying to talk for him here or anything, but yeah, like I think he's pretty much getting ready to sell the car.
Right. Don't sell it.
Yeah,
Do some skids.
please
Yeah.
don't sell it. But then that's no good for him. You know, if he's in a bad place, then as a friend, yeah, sell it.
Yeah.
Get yourself in a better place. Maybe in a couple of years' time, you can come back to it, build a more simpler car, and have fun again. But
Or
this
sell
is
it and
it.
buy something cheaper.
yeah, because this is going back to what we were saying, isn't it? You know, it's taking the fun right out of it.
Yeah.
When you're spending your whole life savings on something, and I totally agree with this. Like, I've got a basic car, not because that's all I can afford, it's because it's all I'm willing to put into it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? My
Yeah,
missus-
life's still life, isn't it?
yeah, I still need a house. I
Yeah.
still need to retire someday.
Yeah.
You know?
Something that stands out is 2 years ago at Driftland, I've never seen someone so happy ever with drifting. But when you won your first battle at Driftland,
Yeah.
my God, he was like banging on the roof. Yes, yes.
Commentators were really confused. They were like, that was quite an easy win. What is he so excited about? Do you know what I mean? And I think somebody else was like, it's his first battle.
What's that feeling, especially at the end, because you ended up on the podium and everything, didn't you? You know.
Okay, yeah, so this is quite a good thing to talk about. Let me rewind. Like, I went to Three Sisters, and the battle tree worked out in my favour. And every battle that I thought that I was going to have, I'm like, I'm confident of that. I reckon I can beat that. And my first battle was Vicky.
Mm.
Now, Vicky's a great driver. She's a great line driver, but I know my car's faster. Like, so all I got to do is stay behind her somewhat. And then all I got to do is just put a good lead line in. I'll put a massive gap on and I'll get the win. And I'm like, right, first battle. I'm not saying that it was an easy battle. Don't get me wrong. No battle's easy.
No,
Vicky's a great driver.
I'm
pleased don't think I'm taking anything away from Vicky.
From fucking up.
But yeah. Well, that's exactly what happened. Like,
Yeah.
it was wet. Vicky went into the first corner. She slowed up way more than what I was expecting, and my car just gripped up and straightened.
Yeah.
And oh no, that was it. So I think it popped out of gear. Something happened. It popped out of gear, and then I went back into the pits, literally parked my car up. My detailing bucket was on the floor there, mate. That didn't last 2 minutes. I booted that across the pits. Like, swore at somebody else. Went in my van and had a smoke. Do you know what I mean? And I was furious. And a friend of mine, Curtis, actually, the guy that I very first did a cage for, he was with my mate next door. And he said to me after the event, he said, I don't think drifting's for you. What do you mean? He said, I don't think competition's drifting for you. You know, the amount that you were wound up and that upset you, it's not worth it, Jamie. And I'm like, yes, but it's the same with heroin or cocaine. The bigger the high, the bigger the low.
Yeah.
And I can't have that high, like you were talking about in Scotland, without having the low.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? I take it like, I know I'm not going to win a championship, but I'm certainly not there to make up the numbers. I'm a competitive person. Like, I do want to win, like. So when I do get on the podium, you saw me, it meant everything. Like, I was so buzzing. I got on third, do you know what I mean? It was fucking sick. Got the trophy, I was just so proud of myself, do you know what I mean? But then on the flip side of it, when something bad does happen, I'm the first one to lose my shit and throw my toys out the pram. Which I think's fine, like, you know? It's totally okay, like.
That high definitely more than worth it for you. I see your daughter there as well. He's like, next to the car and
trying to drag up to the podium. Like, I want that moment with my daughter on the podium and she's just bawling her eyes out. Oh, mummy, I'm like, God bless. Ruin it for me.
Fuck you.
But no, it was wicked, man. Like, that's what
Who was it against the first battle?
Oh,
All I remember is you got so excited you jumped around and everything, and then afterwards you went to the pit and you went, sorry, I didn't come and say thanks or anything. So excited, I didn't mean to rub it in your face or anything like that.
Even like, it was in Scotland actually, I won my first battle in pro, and that was against Matt Smith. And again, I was absolutely buzzing. Now, don't get me wrong, Matt was still learning the car, and I think he made a mistake, I made a mistake, his mistake was a little bit worse than mine, whatever. But I got the win over him and I was that fucking buzzing. And he was so excited for me. I mean, that's such a nice trip. He was so excited for me. I ran over to him, I got a great picture on my phone. I literally picked him up and literally almost threw him above my head, like, you know what I mean? It was wicked though. And that's another reason why I love Drift League, because I can beat Matt, and Matt's just as excited for me to have the win as what I am, you know what I mean? And like, he was like, oh, well done, mate, you know, it's wicked, like.
It's because everyone knows everyone's trying their hardest. And your friends, like, you want to beat them, but you're still happy for them. Like, mate, fucking fair play, that was sick.
And that's the best thing about drifting. Anything can happen.
Yeah.
You know, just because you're the better driver and you've got the better car does not entitle you to the win.
I mean, the thing
you know
is,
what I mean?
Like,
anything can happen.
The way drifting is structured as well. I was like, we go on our builds, like, oh, you want to have James Dean's car, or, you know, I've got 1,000 horsepower, whatever else. Yeah, great. When you're in the lead, 1,000 horsepower, brilliant. But if you're chasing a 250 horsepower car, you're just going to struggle.
Yeah.
You know, it's a really good way of doing it. So really, the power isn't.
It's not everything.
No. Well, I mean, I do all right. I do all right with 350 horsepower to the rear. Oh, that's another thing you want to say. Yeah. So, it's 350 horsepower to the rear wheels. So 400 horse to the fly.
Fucking rips.
Yeah. That's right.
Rips.
No. It goes, like, I've worked it out on paper, like, to Josh King's car, because, like, Josh's car's, like, 1,200 kilos. It's 720 horsepower. Works out to, like, 500 and something per ton.
Yeah.
And then I'm, like, what am I, 400 horsepower per ton. But then he's got a 265 semi-slip on an 18. I'm only on a 195 50. Do you know what I mean? But then when we were around Silverstone, we went into Silverstone, and it was the first time I drove with him, actually. And he went into Silverstone, he was going real slow. What the fuck are you doing, Josh? Come on. We come round, I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, I was trying to slow so you keep up. I'm like, fuck that, get on. But I want to see how much faster your car is to mine, like, you know?
Yeah.
So we went round, and he got on. I managed to get a jump on him, and he come back round me, and he must have pulled, like, two car lengths into me into the first corner. And I've watched back the video. And then we stayed 2 car lengths all the way around. And then we swap them round, and we went in, and he left me a bit of a gap. And again, he said I can catch it. You weren't driving away from me, but I couldn't catch you.
You catch it. You just take that gap.
So on paper, like, he should be quicker than me in a drift. But okay,
when
he's
you're
sideways,
you're not.
he probably is a bit quicker than me, but not a massively noticeable difference. Like you would think, when you're looking at it on paper, he's got a bigger tyre, more power, blah.
You'd expect him just to literally
It's a bit,
disappear.
yeah, it is a bit weird how the Golf is as quick as it is. I never thought it would be. So it surprised me just as much as
And
you.
the biggest thing is it looks fucking sick.
Yeah,
So when you're sideways, you like next to my one car, and all you see is Martin.
And it disappeared. It's like, fucking sure Jamie was in this back. Oh, there he is, yeah. Like the biggest car on the grid and the smallest car on the grid.
Yeah, which is great until you're in a flicking 4-car train. 3 sisters, Martin's right up your chuff.
Yeah.
And then I think the lead car cut track, and then Jonathan, who was behind him, he didn't really know what to do, so he just ended up straightened. Well, I was right on fucking Jonathan's door, so he straightened and whacked my front quarter. As I did that, I let off. Martin just plowed straight into the side of me. Like, nobody's fault. I'm not.
No.
Me and Martin are good friends.
It happens
Me and Martin are good friends. He came over to me and I was like, you fuck.
He's driving with him at Autobus.
No, it's all good.
It's a lot smaller.
Yeah.
Like, I went out and I just pulled onto the track, didn't think much about it, and then I just looked behind me and I was like, oh shit, Martin, no, fuck, I better concentrate on this one.
It's daunting, isn't it? The dog chasing behind you, though.
And I'm going around and I'm like trying to run nice and wide and everything, leave the door wide open for him. And you're driving around and my car's quite loud inside. It's quite screaming noisy and turbo noisy. I cannot hear my car.
Yes.
All I can fucking hear is that Jay-Z screaming at me. Got back into the pits and Martin pulled up to me and just went, I was wearing a fucking glove. And I walked up, I was like, yeah, but
That's the
fucking
trouble.
awesome.
I got 2 silencer boxes in the Golf, so it's dead quiet.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing I struggle with when people are behind me. I can hear them over my own car. Though,
Yeah, you can't hear your revs then, can you?
Yeah.
Mine's pretty aggressive when you're inside it, isn't it? Like, it makes it a fucking racket.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
my car makes 12 psi of boost.
Yeah.
That's it. It doesn't even make a bar of boost. And it comes in at, what's it coming at? Like 2.5, nearly 3 grand.
Fucking great though, isn't it?
And then it's boost all the way up to 6,800 or whatever the rev limit.
That's literally perfect. So it's almost like,
I never clutch kick.
it's almost NA
Yeah.
with the power.
Like I clutch kick on initiation, but I'm never going around in 4th or 5th gear and like have to clutch kick. Never.
Yeah, I'll beat the fuck out of one.
Unless I'm chasing someone and they slow right down and I'm still in 4th, and then it's like, but then if I do that, that's when I snap a shaft.
Yeah.
The only time I snap a shaft,
At all.
yeah, like when I was chasing Laurie.
Yeah.
It was quite funny actually. I didn't know who Laurie was. I know been friends with him on Facebook, but I didn't recognise him with a helmet on in the car. Do you know what I mean? I didn't realise it was him. And he shouted over to me, he's like, oh, do you want a twin? And I was like, yeah, all right, yeah. You follow me? He's like, yeah, no worries. And I like looked over at his back tyres, and he's got like road tyres on. I had my semi-slicks on. And like, I'm assuming his car wasn't that powerful. And I'm like, I can't remember what I said to him. And I was like, get on my door. And he was like, yeah, I'll get on your door. No problem, mate, whatever. I can't remember. I was proper playing.
Proper fate in the middle.
Yeah. Like, throwing the book out. And then he said, like, as soon as we went off the start line, he went, oh. Gone, like. But then we swapped round. And when we went down the straight, round the right hand, around the left hand onto like Mangiali before you come into Luna, and as he went round that left hander, he slowed right up. I was in 3rd, and I slowed right up, and I thought, oh, here we go, big clutch kick, and then as soon as I did it, I was like, and it just went snap, and just snapped it.
Laurie, and then broke his car.
No,
I'll take Laurie. You're on a £30 drive shaft.
Yeah, 20 quid.
£20 drive shaft. No, £10 for me.
Yeah, and then when I was at the what was it, Driftland? They've got like when you go round the big corner on the big line, you go down the bank, and if you drop a wheel off the side of the track, there,
it's ground.
hellish.
Yeah,
and I did that, dropped a wheel, snapped a shaft. But I've never broken a shaft when I haven't done something stupid. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So in my opinion, that is perfect.
Yeah.
In my, do you know what I mean? I'd rather break a 20 quid shaft.
You're going to get smacked somewhere.
Yeah. And I'd rather be a
Like,
20
if your
quid
car's
shaft.
breaking because you're doing something stupid,
That's fine.
it doesn't.
It's not your car breaking. You're breaking in the car.
Yeah.
Just because you're drifting, then it's fit gutting. You're like,
Even if I break one, it takes like 10 minutes to change. It's like one bolt to undo the top of the hub. Take the bolt out for the drive shaft, and the drive shaft just pops out. Pop the new one in. It's literally 2 bolts.
I remember changing one in your car. We did it in probably 8 minutes, didn't we? And then the other side, it was 45 minutes because of fucking exhaust and everything. Fucking nightmare.
See, I've got a side exit that comes out behind my driver's
Oh, so
seat.
you've got nothing in the way at all.
Yeah, no. It's too. I didn't want it for that very reason.
Well, you've done all your, so you're making all new subframes for new car, aren't you? And you've done it so like your depth is literally just you unbolt it in like fucking 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So if you needed to drop it to get the shafts out, it's fucking easy, isn't it, or whatever?
Yeah, no, I can change my shafts without taking anything off. And my exhaust comes off in it's one V band.
Yeah,
I've got like, E36. I'm just looking at you because you're the mechanic. E36 gearbox mounts.
Yeah.
So I use those for my
right,
trucks.
yeah.
So I literally just made a little bracket sticking out, the mount, and then I just made a bracket out of angle iron off the exhaust onto there.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not sorry to anybody who makes stainless steel exhausts. They're very nice on show cars, and if you want to keep the car forever, but a drift car, in my opinion, fucking waste of time.
Yeah.
I don't even know what mine means.
Like, literally, mine was just, mild steel, MIG welded together. Like, it's going to get bent and twisted, or I'm going to change something before it rots out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and like,
definitely.
it took me, I think it was like £100 in bits, and it took me a Saturday morning to make it.
Exactly the same as yours. It didn't cost you anything. You just picked up like 3 different old bits and was like,
You know what I mean?
this will work.
A lad said to me, he's like, I'll sponsor you an exhaust. You buy all the bits and I'll make it. And it was still like going to cost me £500 or something. And I'm like, no, it's going to be cheaper just to make it myself.
Yeah, well, I don't need that. Yeah.
So yeah, like the exhaust comes off in one. Like it's like even I can change a gearbox in 2 hours.
It's standard BMW box. Though,
Yeah,
right?
it is a twat though, because the engine does tuck underneath the skull.
Right.
Like to get to the 6th spark plug and the injector is a twat.
Is that?
Yes, you can get them. You can service them without taking the engine out or anything. And like
But it's
the
not.
oil, yeah, because the M50 as well, the oil cap is at the back, not at the front.
Yeah.
So I have to take out my wiper linkage, which is only one bolt. You just undo the one bolt, and then that swings out the way, and then I can undo my cap. And then I bought a bottle with a flexi. Yeah,
Fancy boy.
that's the only twat. Doing an oil change on it and getting oil in it is the only twat.
Just don't oil change
The
it.
rest of the car, yeah.
BMW motor, innit? If you're right.
Every other event I change my oil.
I do mine every drift day.
Do
Yeah, even if I do 4 laps or 50 laps, I'll change it.
I do mine every end.
what oil do you use?
Cheap.
Oh, okay. I use 1060.
I used.
It's not cheap.
What do I put in it? 1040. I just put in mine.
Creep.
Yeah, you split them.
I just put 1040 in it, but it comes out
No.
as it goes in.
Yeah, no, so is mine to be fair. Just a bit sparklier. Little Christmas sprinkle. Thank you very much.
Metallic metal.
Yeah.
Metallic
Well,
oil.
we'll just wait till it goes bang. I was
Yeah.
going to compression test it other side.
Don't
I'm
do
not
it.
gonna bother.
Just to press yourself.
I did that at one point and it was quite low across all 4, so I was like, it just must be a cheap gauge. I'm not doing that again.
Well, that's actually what happened to me last year. I compression tested my car, and it was like when I originally did it, it was 150 psi across the board, pretty much,
Yeah.
or 155 or whatever. And then I did it again at the beginning of last year, and they were all like 180. So I was like,
Yeah, this is the thing, isn't it?
Alright.
And from what I've learned about compressor
As long as they're fairly
That engine-
consistent.
as long as
Yeah.
they're the same, it doesn't matter.
yeah, that engine hasn't gained compression. I know that much for nothing. I'm not a mechanic, but I know that has not gained
It's a
compression.
Christmas miracle.
Yeah. Well, no,
My pistons have grown bigger.
yeah. I think Josh's is down on a bit of compression, like, but yeah, it just makes it safer in his mind. Less detonation, like.
I don't like. Yeah, I don't think it's the biggest deal in the world. As long as they're even. That's if you've got one that's 100 and the rest of them are 130.
Yeah,
then it's a
yeah,
problem. It's
yeah.
because you're obviously.
Well,
It's,
Don't check them, don't know. Don't
Even
know.
at 30 PSI,
Alfie offered me like a Link Dash thing, like quite cheap for mine, and I was like, oh, and he's like, why wouldn't you want it? And I was like, because I know everything about it. Is that what you mean? Is that at the moment I've got a temperature gauge and I've got a fuel gauge.
I don't look at it.
I don't know fuck all what's going on with that engine, and I beat hell out of it and I hot lap it. If I start knowing and can see all the oil pressure, all the oil temperature, I won't do half the shit I do to it.
Do you even look at your gauges when you're drifting?
I don't have any.
Yeah.
I literally have a temperature gauge.
Yeah.
Like, it's only a stock one as well.
Like Josh has got a tablet down here. He hasn't even got a dash of any description at all, like. But it's obviously he's got like I've got an EMU Black ECU, which has got loads of safety. So if it drops oil pressure, drops fuel pressure, it goes over a certain temperature, it'll switch itself off. But I literally bought again. My car's cheap, right? So I've got an EMU Black ECU. Josh won it for a £40 ticket and then sold it to me for £700 on the cheap.
What?
I bought a 50 quid thing that plugs into the side of it, and then I've got a 70 quid tablet from Curry's.
Yeah. This is basically what this is.
Yeah. And I think I don't have rev gauge on there or anything. I've just got oil pressure, water, fuel pressure.
I think that's
the
all I would probably
necessities.
put into it.
And I just check it like at the end of the run. Just have
I think mine's more oil temperature. After talking to you about it the other day,
I ain't got an oil cooler. Mine never goes above
I
70.
haven't got an oil
The
cooler.
problem with the SR, it's only got 3.5 litres of oil in it.
Ah, has it?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Yeah, I think my Beamer's got like 6.5 litres. I think I put in it.
And I literally, usually if I go to like a demo day or a passenger ride day, I pretty much start it in the morning, not turn off.
Yeah.
So just lap.
You can tell the oil when you take it out of your SR as well, that it's got too hot.
It's got a bit in there. Yeah, so I should probably be a little bit more.
Like I took one of my mates out, who's a mechanic, and he's just like looked over, we were doing like laps after laps or whatever, and it was my oil was sat at like 65 degrees, and he's like, I think we need to take your oil cooler off. What oil cooler? Like, it is what it is. Like,
Mad, isn't it?
like even temp wise, that car just stays. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Like never goes above 90 degrees ever.
I don't know what mine is, but the little needle thing stays in the middle.
Yeah. So mine's like, if
My
it's in the middle, I'm happy.
I think my electric water pump and my fans come on at 80 degrees and go off at 75.
Yeah.
So when I'm sat in the queue, it's just flipping around 75,
75
80
to 80,
degrees,
yeah.
and then I'll do a lap, and then it'll go up to like 85 at the most. Even on like a blistering day, it was like 28 degrees at Silverstone, and I was hot lapping, never went over 32 degrees. So sorry, it never went over 90 degrees. Air intake temps never went over 32 degrees.
Yeah, it's a stable.
But my air intake temps, my oil and my water, all unless my dash is lying to me, which is quite possible. But yeah, it's pretty good. Like it stays cold. It does stay cold. Like
I have wondered about putting an oil cooler on mine, one of the sandwich plate ones. So they only open once you get to a certain temperature.
yeah, it's just something else to go wrong, though, isn't it?
It's something that's to leak, something that's to snag, something to bend if you air. It's,
I mean, as long as your car stays cool, then what's the point? Like,
yeah.
again, going back to that thing, isn't it?
Don't overbalance.
Electric power steering. If your mechanical power steering works, then don't keep up with the Joneses just because everyone else is going electric. If it works, keep it.
Yeah, definitely.
Go spend your money on tyres.
100%. Agree with
One
that.
more experience to talk to you about was Matsuri doing your night demos. But I think when Laurie said about it on here, it's like we went and spoke to him afterwards, and he was like, I can't see a thing. I just know where the rumble strip is. As soon as I put the rumble strip, I plant it so I can.
Yeah, literally, it was muscle memory. Like, and it's raining, and like you're just getting all the shine. Like
Oh, that'd be fucking horrible.
they light up the bottom hairpin, but as you go up straight around the first left-hander, none of it's lit. None of it's lit.
Coming past the bits.
Yeah, and you can just see one little light, so you know where to initiate. So like I was initiating, and it's true. I was literally just holding it pinned in fourth and just letting it wash to the outside of the track until I felt my back wheel touch the rumble strip. Then I'll transition, and then you could and then by the time you got enough down the track, you could then see that part of the track, if you know what I mean. But I got a video of like me chasing Matt Smith, or Matt Smith chasing me. No, I was chasing Matt. You can't see it. You literally cannot see him on the video, and everyone's like, "Oh, is it better than this in real life?" I'm like, "No, it's literally just like that. You can't see sod all." My first
black. Anything.
My first lap as well, I went out. I couldn't even drift because I left my dash on. Didn't even think about it. It was just blinding me.
Yeah.
I literally
Wouldn't ever think about it.
had to switch my dash off completely for the whole night runs and just hope that it was not doing anything.
No, you do have headlights on, that is best.
Yeah, but it's a Mark 1 Golf headlight.
Oh, okay.
They're absolutely.
So basically, no, you don't have
headlights.
Yeah. And they weren't even pointing in the right direction either, because I'd never. It's not on the road, is it? So I've never aligned them. They've got 3 bolts holding the headlights that you can screw the 3 different to align them. So like, yeah, I was like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, absolute.
I've got a video somewhere. We're just after the first corner, and you just see, I think it's 2 green headlights, and it's 2 little lights come around the corner. It's him, and suddenly it's just all these cars lit up. It's Jamie's head, heading like fuck
in the dark.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's good fun though. It is good fun.
So just to recap, your unpopular opinion is don't overbuild your car.
Yeah. Yeah, build it to within your means, like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, like, if you want to build a wicked show car, then knock yourself out, like. But if you want to come to Drift League and have fun and be a part of Drift League, don't feel like you need 500-600 horsepower.
Yeah.
Come and get involved and get into it and have fun and meet the people in a 330 E46. I reckon for $5,000 you could probably build yourself a car that you could come and do Drift League in.
What do you reckon yours is going to cost you? I reckon the most expensive part of yours has probably been the cage. Because I know you bought a shell cheap, you've already got all the engines, blah, blah, blah.
HSDs, 330, 75 speed.
So what's it going to weigh you? 3.5?
You don't even really need HSDs, guys. You just want a cheap
Yeah,
set of
yeah,
carburetors if you wanted to.
The HSDs are bought about 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And I've
Never used them.
Never used them because they were going to go on another car.
Put it this way then. If you put James Dean in an E46 330 or whatever and put him in Class 2 in Drift League, I'd say they'll have a bloody good chance of winning.
Yeah.
No?
Fuck yeah, of course you would, yeah.
And then the same like when people say about putting bigger tyres, more grip in my car. If I put James Dean in my Mark 1 Golf, I'm pretty confident that he'd have a good crack at winning every round. Do you know what I mean? Maybe not. But, you know, I'm pretty confident to say that. You know what I mean? So if he can do it, then there's no reason why I can't do it. I just got to get better. You know what I mean?
It's like everyone thinks, oh yeah, you're born to drift. The Irish born to drift now, but no, you have to learn to do it.
I don't think anyone's born to do anything.
Yeah,
Like,
you learn to
passion and
what you put into it and get out of it.
dedication. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
I know you've mentioned him a few times. We'll move on now.
Mm.
I know you mentioned him a few times, like you said about Cooper and stuff. But like, so out of the whole, let's keep it. No, fuck it, not even UK then. Just out of anyone, name a couple of like your favourite drivers who like maybe inspired you, or you just rate on techniques.
That's easy. Martin Richards and Matt Denham.
Yeah, they're your boys.
Yeah, because I think they are probably the two best drifters in the country. Louis Edwards though is definitely in with a shout.
Yeah,
no, don't I mean that kid is absolutely phenomenal. Like he is.
It's mental. Yeah,
but for like Martin Richards and Matt Denham, like Martin helps me out and I do a bit of work for Martin anyway. And then when Matt Denham had Drift Elite, he had like a little school or whatever. And then he used to do track days at Throckmorton Airfield. And that was just insane. Go there in my little Beamer. Martin was there in his Beamer. Tess would be there. Matt Denham, like a couple of other pro drivers as well. I think Hux might have even been there. And we were all in stock Beamers or whatever. And they used to set up a track with the cones, wet the track because we had to keep the noise limit down. But by the end of the day, there was no cones left on the track. They were sending, like, we were literally just driving around in circles, like, the 15-car trains. And, like, at one point, I remember throwing it in, and I'm, like, trying to chase Matt or something, and I've got Martin, like, right up against here, and then watching them two drive together. It's just phenomenal, do you know what I mean? And like Martin's obviously proved himself and done really well. He's, like,
international, isn't he? Do you know what I mean? Yeah,
I feel like Matt Denham's had a rough end of the stick. Like he's never had the car.
I've never met him.
Nice guy in drifting.
That's what I hear a lot.
Literally,
like I'd love to meet him.
It was when he was driving. Was it when going back to what you were talking about? Who's the guy? Arunas, is it? No, Aramus. Oh, no, I can't remember. He rolled it, didn't he?
Yeah.
And Matt Denham like ran over and helped like sweep up and clean out the track. Like,
Was
that he crashed his car? Yeah. Sorry, my mistake.
All of his suspension off. He literally picked it up, threw it out of the way, and it was that sweep.
Yeah. Well, that's Matt.
That's so cool.
I was sitting him at like the NEC and like his car had broken down or something, and it was in between a battle or something like that, and all his pit crew are there frantically working on the car, and you can see it stressed and like this. And I said to the missus, "Oh, come on, we'll just leave him to it." Walk round the corner, and Matt sat in the front of the recovery truck just eating a packet of crisps. Because Matt's not mechanically minded; he's a driver. Though.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
I just feel like if he his car, every car that he's had has always seemed to let him down.
Yeah,
He's never knocked himself out for doing something silly.
Bit of a Dwayne McKeever kind of thing going on, like.
But yeah, it's when he had the RX-7 with the rear mount turbo, it didn't really ever work, did it? You know, I don't know. It'd be really cool to see Matt in a good car, and I think he'd just clean up and do really well. Like he's super talented guy. But yeah, I'd say those two are probably my favourite drivers, and because a big reason is I know both of them.
Yeah, it makes a big difference sometimes when you know someone.
Yeah, of course it does. Like, yeah,
You're still not like it, Britain, fuck off.
but like,
Not bad even a driver, mate. Don't worry about it.
Dwayne McKeever, Jack Shanahan, James Dean, and all that.
Obviously, inspirations, isn't
I
they?
don't really follow too much Japanese drifting though.
Neither, if I'm honest.
Like I speak to Mito and he's like Noki this and Noki that and I'm like, well, yeah. Yeah, sure.
I know. I don't. I've got to be honest, I haven't really followed much of it. I know Alfie's shown me quite a lot of it. He loves it.
So I like doing it rather than watching it.
Yeah, I'm not a big watcher. I like watching obviously Drift Masters and obviously last year watching Drift League because I know the drivers. Like, I don't know
Yeah.
a lot of them.
I find
I
that
know a
great.
lot of them personally, not a lot of them personally, but you can kind of follow them, don't you? So
It's always why I enjoyed watching BDC the most.
yeah,
Because like I used to sponsor Josh, and Josh was a good mate of mine, and I also had other friends in BDC, and you can get behind your mates, can't you?
Yeah,
And it makes it
100%.
way more fun. Like, it was like, I remember my parents taking me to the dogs when I was a kid, giving me 20p to put on a dog, and it was way better because I had a bet on it.
yeah,
It meant something, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, instead of just watching
yeah,
it,
it's
like,
cool when
it's-
you've got friends and stuff. You know what I
100%.
mean?
Yeah,
It's better to watch, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, I'm really looking forward to the live stream next year, to be
it's
honest.
gonna be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
It'd be cool to watch it back when I get home and be like, oh, look on the telly.
I think that'd be really good or really bad because I'm one of those kind of people that I watch. Like pretty much every video I get sent of me, I'll sit there and I'll like watch it, and I'll never ever pick anything good from it. All I'll go is, "Fucking, what were you doing?" So I don't know. For me, watching me back on live stream, I'll be like,
Is that
"What are you
social?
doing?" Yeah, that's basically what I'm getting at. Yeah, like I was sat there once watching a video of me driving around. It was a drone footage that Toby had taken, and someone came over to me like, doesn't really know much about drifting. They're like, "You're that vain that you're sat there watching a video of yourself," and I'm like, "Yeah, come here, watch this." And they're like, "Well, you're going to show me?" And I was like, "Shallow. Why did I clutch kick there? Why am I not?" And they're like,
Yeah,
"What?"
yeah,
And I was like, "That is shocking." And they're like, "It's makes loads of smoke and noise. It's terrible."
Yeah.
Like, do you know, it's one of those.
I mean, that's something when you start driving in Drift League, you'll get more into, like, because
Yeah.
when you're going out on practice days and stuff, you can drive wherever you want. But like when you're having to do a qualifying line, you've got to get that box, and they're making it so it is quite technical. It's not just easy and it
not
flows.
just like, yeah.
You've got to work it to get the line. Then it's like a whole new. It's like, do you know what I mean? You feel like you've learned drifting. It's like I've mastered that now. But I'm doing practice days, and then you go into competition and you go right back down to the bottom.
That's
Start
it.
again.
Yeah, big. You
Whole
go
new.
from
But that's why I love it.
big fish, little pond to tiny fish in a big
Yeah.
pond, don't you? You know.
Like I used to skate, and it was the same thing with that. And there was never. Oh, you've accomplished this.
No,
now. You've
always growing.
mastered it. You know what I mean? You've always got something new to learn.
I'd
Always.
say it's like, you know, something like Nolly. Right, I've learned to Ollie. Now Ollie over that curb.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
I'll Ollie up the curb. Now Ollie off the 10-foot fucking wall. You know, it's just like,
yeah. Never ends, right?
So touching on sponsorship there quickly.
Yeah.
I think it'd be good to get your perspective on it as being a person who's sponsored and also being a company who, let's say, has been asked to be sponsored.
Yeah.
I think we'll start as the company. So
Yeah. I get loads of people asking for sponsorship.
I bet you do. I
Yeah.
bet you do. What? So, right, let's start on like the positive kind of side of it then. Let's say you were looking to sponsor someone. So you had like, let's say you were like, right, next year I'm going to sponsor 2 people.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking. What is it that you would like to see from them to start that conversation? What kind of attitude are you looking for? So if someone, let's say,
straight.
but if you were looking to get sponsored, what is it you would expect to see?
Straight away lose the sponsorship. It's not a sponsorship, it's a partnership.
Yeah, great. I think that's a real good answer straight away. Yeah.
So let's just use you for an example.
Yep.
I've done a lot of sales in my time. So if I'm going to sponsor you, I'm employing you to be a salesman for me.
Yeah, I think that's such a good attitude to look at.
So
it.
now I'm employing you. I'm not paying you money. I'm giving you a product. And now on the back of that, you now have to go and work and advertise my business and bring me work in.
and that's not just the sticker on the car.
No,
Put a sticker on my car and
That's
you give me
not
free
even-
stuff. No.
shove your sticker on your car. Really, that doesn't really make too much of a difference.
Make
Do you know
a
what I mean?
single bit of difference whatsoever.
I mean, it does help, but like Matt Smith, sorry, bringing Matt, but for
It's
sponsorship
usually me who
wise,
constantly says about
but
Matt.
Matt is literally, because when I built his E46, like I helped him a little bit. It wasn't like a full sponsorship deal or anything like that, but I helped him out a little bit with the build, and he helped me out because it was in the middle of COVID, as it goes. But he always tracked that as like a bit of a sponsorship. So he always tagged me in every post. And it was like, the amount of tags, I used to be like, oh, fuck me, man. Do you know what I mean? Go to a drift weekend, and if I wasn't at the drift weekend, it'd be like, ping, 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 Matt Smith tagged you, Matt Smith tagged you, Matt Smith tagged you, But that's what you want. That's what you need, like, do you know what I mean? And like, for me to sponsor people in Drift League, I'm kind of wasting my time.
I think I mean, I feel like you, like I said this on camera.
Not wasting my time.
No,
shouldn't
I
say
think that you've far succeeded needing to advertise to drifters.
that.
Everyone knows you in that drift scene. Everyone knows how good you are. You don't need to try and push out there. Oh, look at what I can offer. So I don't think you need that advertisement in that in drifting?
Yeah, I mean, yes and no. I mean, I've like Josh is a very good friend of mine, and I say I sponsor Josh, but actually, Josh does that much work for me behind the scenes. It's more like he sponsors me, to be completely honest with you. And then I sponsor Charlie Hume.
Oh, Charlie. I fucking love Charlie.
The reason I sponsor Charlie Hume is because Charlie is a super, super talented driver.
Yeah, he's awesome.
And I reckon he could be one of the best drivers in Drift League if he had the machinery behind him. But he hasn't got the machinery behind him. And that's another person who's stuck with the same car for years and just got better and better and better as a driver without having to improve the car. Do you know what I mean? And like, I just thought if I'm going to get involved with somebody, Charlie's not bad at social media. He's very well liked in the drift community. And he's a bloody good driver. So if I'm going to sponsor somebody, I'd rather sponsor Charlie and know that it's helping him out quite a lot.
Yeah.
Than sponsor somebody who has already got money and it doesn't really mean that much to him.
It's
you
just
know what I mean?
less money for them to have.
Yeah, because like
Crap.
I fully admit, me sponsoring Charlie probably wasn't the best business decision to go with. It's probably not going to see a massive amount of money back, but I'm helping a friend out. He's a great guy.
And he is a fucking legend.
Yeah, and it will help. And no denying it, it will help promote my business. Do you know what I mean? Because Charlie will talk to people and blah, blah, blah. Touching back on next year, I've got a few mates. Dan Scott, Green Sora.
Yeah. I can kind of picture the car because obviously you got Heath and then you've got
Tall guy, long blonde mullet, absolute hysterical guy, makes everyone laugh, always got a smile on his
I don't
face.
think I'm that.
So basically last year we basically pitted together, and a good friend of mine, Tom Morris, he's mechanic for me the whole time I've been in Drift League. So I'm building him an E92, which is actually the old Fastar car
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
Janine drove.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I put a 2 litre Saab engine in that for him.
Yeah,
and
sick.
building that up for him. But he's going to be in it next year. And then my mate Jack, who used to do Jack is a recovery driver, so he used to take Dan's car to the tracks for him.
Yeah.
So he wants to be in it next year as well. So we're all together anyway, all of this year. And I was like, do you know what?
Just make a team.
Let's make a team. I can help my friends out. I can do your cages for you or whatever. And then as a team, if there's like 5 of us, or if Dan doesn't sell his car and wants to be in it, there'll be 6 of us. And then all liveried up the same, all Muswell Motorsport, all yellow. I think that's going to do better for my business than what I would if I was individually sponsoring people,
100%.
if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And on a team.
Yeah, it's cool as fuck.
It'd be cool as fuck, wouldn't it?
Wow,
Especially if
I
you
don't
had 5
Well, I
cars.
don't know.
It depends who you've
Like
got.
the teammates.
Yeah. It's the problem.
But I'd love to bring teams back into drifting and have it it's never, I don't know, I won't say it's never going to be, but like back in the days when it was all like Jap Speed and Driftworks and all the big teams and stuff. It was
The
wicked.
team events they used to do as well, like during the break at lunchtime.
Yeah.
They'd go out as a team and you had to set the best lap as a team.
Yeah.
It's just so good.
When Slide Motor, did you ever see the Slide Motorsport at Teesside? They went opposite way around the track.
Yeah.
Did you ever see that one?
That was awesome.
They went at Teesside and they said to the start line marshal, the 2 of them were on the start line and 2 of them went to the finish line.
So,
And they were going, what are you doing? What are you doing? And they never told anybody what they were doing. And then all of a sudden they went and they both came into the track and they drifted on the low line, they drifted on the high line, and they looked fantastic. But I can imagine Matt Stevenson was going, this is the end of BDC right here, like head on collision.
Imagine if it had gone wrong.
Yeah, well, I don't think they would have allowed him to do it. To be
No,
honest.
if they thought there was any way.
well, you're teammates and you know each other's driving and you've made
Not so
an
much
agreement
that, yeah.
beforehand.
Yeah.
Yeah. They probably already tried. They knew they could do it.
Yeah.
But it'd be great to bring teams back into drifting. It'd be cool, man. But yeah, no, going back to sponsorship, I'm far better off sponsoring a YouTuber. So take that as what you want.
What about like a team who's 5?
Yeah.
Who doesn't have a very big YouTube?
So what you got to think of is how many people are you going to get as your audience, isn't it?
I know, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I sponsored Boca a roll cage, and that video had like 80, 100,000 views.
Yeah.
So you as a drifter, show me where you're going to get 100,000 views from.
You're just not.
You're not.
You're just not. No, of course you're not.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
You might get like
So-
100,000 people watching at an event, but they're also
Yeah.
watching everyone else and they're not
And the amount of people that I've had phone me up and go, "Oh, you're right, Jamie. Seen your video with Boca. Blah, 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 how much is the roll cage?" Do you know what I mean? It happens. Well, not so much anymore because it was a few years ago. Now I don't really get it anymore. But for the couple of years that the video was going, you know what I mean? I had loads of work out of it. It was a great business decision.
Yeah.
Everyone
do
goes to
Well, so much so I actually did a page of Beamer after as like a bit of a thank you, and then do another video. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, definitely.
So that's where I'm at with sponsorship. Really, if I'm going to sponsor someone, you need a bloody good YouTube. You need to show me how you're going to target your audience and how many people you can reach to. Really,
sell it to you before you sell it to other people.
Yeah, you just telling your mates and sharing it on your Instagram page that's got 1,000 people on it.
Mm.
Half those people probably follow me anyway.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So, like unfortunately, we're drifting now. If you want to be sponsored, you've got to be something special. And that's not necessarily a good driver either, though. The beautiful thing about this day and age is that, well, Boca can't drive for Toffee. Well, he can. He can do a skid, don't get me wrong. But in a competition, he can do a competition. But he's getting more sponsorship than anyone else in Drift League. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's not because he's a good driver, it's because he's got the social media behind him. Like, and in this day and age, it ain't really about how good a driver you are. It's how good your social media is.
Yeah, how well can you sell yourself?
And how well you can sell yourself.
I mean, when, like, we're not trying to open the door for everyone to message you, but
no, hell no.
If you're trying to get a sponsorship from a company, you as a company, like, presentation of get hold of you. Like, if they just get a message on Facebook going, "Oh, you fancy doing a partnership or something like that," or if they get an email that this is me, this is what I want to give you, this is what I would like you to give me, like, does that presentation make a big difference?
I'm old school. If I was going to approach somebody, I'd ring them up and chat to them. Like, I'm dyslexic as they come, so me trying to write a bloody email like that sounds professional. I'd sound like a 10-year-old asking for a piece of cake or something. You know what I mean? It's
I send over emails.
Or have to spend an hour reading.
Well, Dan Martin,
5 pages.
you know Dan Martin.
Yeah.
If ever I write anything that's anything to do like that, I will write it. Like, I messaged a YouTuber recently, actually, wrote him a big thing, and I sent it to Dan and went, "Sort that out for him."
That's what I do with my mate.
Yeah, Jamie.
It's so professional. I'm like,
why didn't I think to say that?
Like, emails you sent out, weren't you?
I send it to everyone in the team, like, read this, and I'll change a little bit. Now read it. Then I send it to my mate who would professionalise it. And to basically try and get everyone's, is this what we're kind of saying about stuff? Like, or change that and then get them to professionalise it.
But I mean, like, when you get a message off somebody and they're like, "Oh, I'm building this car, it's going to be amazing, will you sponsor me?" No.
Yeah,
because you ain't even built it yet. Yeah. I know 8 out of 10 people who are going to build a car like that and they never end up finishing it. Because like this has happened before. I've sponsored somebody it was actually in the 750cc motor club. Is it 750 motor club, whatever it is? The racing, track circuit racing, whatever. He was in that, he had a YouTube channel and he was winning all the races. And I thought, right, he had a bolting cage. I thought, here we go, this is a great opportunity. I'll sponsor your roll cage. You keep doing your YouTube and winning the races, happy days. I built in the roll cage, never did a race after. Not one race. And I ended up, I don't know whether this is the wrong thing to do, but I phoned him up and I said, right, you owe me $2,500 or whatever it was for the roll cage. It's been 3 years. You've not turned the wheel. The car's not even been painted.
Yeah.
I want the money back. And like, fair play to him, he did pay me back over a bit of time, like, but he paid me back. But now that's put a real bad taste in my mouth for sponsoring people.
Of course it is, yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's not sticking to it, but
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, if you're
that's
going
like partnership side there, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've done something for you, you got to do something for me.
Yeah. So it's a tough one if you're building a car. Like, it's almost like you need to prove to that person that you are massively dedicated and you've got the money behind you to actually do it. Because it's one thing, again, building a car, but it's the next thing of, well, if you've got this fantastic car, have you got 20 grand a year to spend on drifting?
On tyres, race
fuel, spares.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that's another thing.
Fuel to get to events.
Like, I could sponsor you. You could just about build this car and I could sponsor you and go, right, okay, let's, they give you $6 grand for the season. I mean, buy all your tyres for the season, right? And I'll sponsor you. Great. Gearbox blows up on the first round. You can't afford to fix it.
Exactly, yeah.
Now what happens? Like, do you know where all those tyres I've just bought you can't fucking use them.
Yeah,
you haven't got money to fix the car. I'm not going to give you another $6 grand to fix your winter's quick check or whatever. Do you know what I mean? It's like, or whatever, your sequential. But so it's really hard with sponsorship. Like, do you know what I mean? You've really got to prove to people, and yeah, and that's why big companies don't give you $6,000 anymore. We'll give you a bit of discounts and parts.
Yeah.
Or, if you're lucky enough, you might get free parts. But that's about it, really. The only people that give me money for the season is the Mark 1 Owners Club.
Do they?
Yeah.
No way.
The Mark 1 Owners Club sponsor me, yeah. It's
That's awesome.
my best sponsor. Well, not my best sponsor by far, actually. But when I built my Mark II originally and I put the 20 valve turbo in, even though it was a Volkswagen 20 valve turbo, everyone ripped me a new asshole. Oh, you can't put that in there. You want to stick to a 16 valve GTI engine. You've ruined it. So when I built the Mark 1, I thought, here we go.
That's the definition of ruined.
let us stick this up on the Mark 1 Owners Club and rub some fucking backs up, like, do you know what I mean? And I put it up on the page and everyone fucking loved it. And then the Mark 1 Owners Club were at some show, the German show, Silverstone.
Yeah.
They saw me drifting. They came up and saw my car. We want to get involved. They're a club. They're not business.
No, yeah.
So it was a small sticker for a bit of cash.
Yeah.
But I was just happy that they want to get involved.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Like these guys with us, like they are a sim drifting community, not business. They have no profit whatsoever.
Yeah, exactly.
But then they've sponsored us the hoodies and helping out with different things like that.
The main thing that they're doing for us, which is huge, and obviously it's going to be a bit stronger next year.
Yeah.
Is the guys from that's one, that hellish nice, and two, the knowledge that they have of computers, software, like all of this. Like, this is all new to me. I'm trying my hardest. I've spent money on stuff to try and make it better, but I don't know like they do, just their knowledge is better than anything. So thanks so much, guys. And in return, we're doing some cool stuff with like making art. They're making our cars exactly how our cars are. Like someone, for us, we could jump in our cars with our engines, with our power, with our tires, everything, and try things. And other people can then drive our cars if they want to do stuff.
I don't play any computer games or anything, but I know a guy who's made my Golf in Forza, is it?
That's cool.
So he's made it exactly the same as my car, because apparently, I don't know, I've never played this game, but he said that you can do the MX-5 rear subframe, and he's done the BMW engine and gearbox. But he won't, apparently they won't let it go into competition, because the rule is you can't have a front wheel drive car that's been converted into a rear wheel drive car, because it wouldn't work.
Yeah. But it's a good car that works.
So this lad said to me, so I'm trying to go after the organizer now to say that it will work because it's a real car. Like, do you know what I mean? So please, can you change the rules so we can use it in competition? So I don't know how it's going.
The sim jumping community is mad. Like, some of the competitions, they are so strict on some of the stuff. It's crazy community.
Is it Charlie? Charlie's doing a bit of sim drifting.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
I watched one of Have you seen any of Charlie's sims?
He looks like he's got a 100-point run, and he does.
And he was like, what? How was that better? How could you better that? Like, fuck. Like, if that was real life, that would be like proper insane run.
It must be hard to judge, though, right? Because it's such tiny little different.
So with sim drifting, like on Saturday, they've actually got a dream mod, and so you can fly around like you're on a dream. So I think they do some of it that way. Like, you can put the drones in certain places.
I suppose you could probably see more.
You can click on other people's cars and you can stick in other people's cars.
You probably see more.
I guess all the replays and everything.
Yeah, more details when they're on and off throttle and stuff.
I suppose. I suppose it's harder but easier to a certain degree.
But I can't do sim. I can't do it.
I've only tried like proper racing sim. It was okay.
No, I tried Yogi's.
Can't try
sim thing in the back of his van.
It's mad,
Bless him, he's going, Jamie, you're doing really, really well. I'm like, fuck off, mate. I can't even fucking link the track yet. I can't even transition. No, you're doing really well, You know, he's a super positive guy.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, seriously, fuck off.
I appreciate the good words, but I'm doing shit.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking hell. Brilliant.
And then sponsorship the other way?
Yes, sponsorship the other way. So, who are your sponsors and, how did the partnerships come about?
Just through knowing the right people, I guess.
Right people, right place, right time.
Yeah, there's a guy called Steve Houston. Shout out to Steve. Real nice guy. Owns a company called Protozone. Also works.
Okay.
So E36 Kings.
Yeah, E36 Kings.
So that's his page as well.
Ah, right, okay.
So he's a BC dealer. He does Powerflex, bushers and everything.
Cool.
And he also does the deals in cars. He's got a lot of cars himself,
Okay, yeah.
So I basically, when I was building a Golf, I was on a massive budget and I needed 2 front new coilovers for the Beamer. So I had MX-5. And I phoned him up and said, look, I need 2 front shocks. I don't care what they are. Just as long as they're not blown, will be better than mine. You know what I mean? If
Have you got anything?
kicking around the garage, or do you know anyone who's got a set? He was like, oh, should I try and get you some BCs? I'm like, no, I can't afford that.
Yeah.
He's like, no, I'll see if they'll sponsor you. Like, I'm like, man, I still can't afford that. Do you know what I mean? I generally, I can't afford, 80 quid for some second-hand ones would be what I'm after. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's like, let me speak to them and see what they say. And they came back to him like, yeah, okay, here's a free set front coilovers. Like, obviously, it was a bit different for me because I was building my Mark 1. And I'm a business that builds drift cars, so I'm not some kid in a garage with some hopes and dreams that I might finish it one day. I guess BC thought, man, he's a proper business, he is going to finish this, and it's fucking super cool. Like, we want a name on it. Again, going back to this, regardless, like they'd never even seen me drift. So my ability of being able to drift didn't really have anything to do with the sponsorship. It was more about the fact that the car's cool.
I don't think it does anymore. To a certain degree, like you said,
I sponsored Charlie because he was good.
Yeah, because you're a drifter. Like you're in that market where you are a drifter, so you're looking at that.
But then if somebody had a massive YouTube and he was shit, I'd quite happily sponsor them too, though.
Exactly. That's what I mean. Yeah. So hence why I'm trying to make a YouTube.
Yeah. No, that's it. Yeah. And then so that's how my BC sort of came about, and I know Dan Pryor, Destroy or Die. So and then, a good friend of mine, Aaron from AM Autos, did my manifold. And then, you ever met Mark at Pulsar Turbos?
No.
Nicest guy you ever meet.
Yeah?
Super nice guy. I phoned Mark up and, he'd done all his sponsorship deals for the season already. But he really wanted to get involved, so he massively helped me out on a turbo.
Yeah.
But I literally phoned him up and went, right, this engine, this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. What do I want? Have this. Job done.
I think you've probably got a little bit of edge on most people because of what it is you built.
Yeah, 100%. But that's why I built it.
And the fact is, though, you built something that 95% of people couldn't build.
Yeah.
Without paying a hell of a lot of money to someone else to build it for them.
Yeah.
So you've got your own niche, which has helped in other ways. So the skills you have has helped you in, not having to pay to build it because you built it yourself.
Yeah.
It has also helped you in other aspects as well. But it's acknowledging the time and the effort, which is behind the scenes. I expect the amount of hours, you were saying about the amount of hours that you put into building that car. That's what people don't see. They just see a Mark 1 Golf Skilling and they're like, that's well cool. I bet he just cut the top off and stuck it on like a MX-5 chassis. Yeah. Like, ain't that simple,
No. It would work as well as it did if I did that.
No, of course it wouldn't.
You know what I mean? It's I wanted it to be one of one, which it is.
Yeah,
I'm quite. Well, I say that actually. There's a guy in South Africa.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, he's literally just put a Mark 1 Golf on a E36 floor pan. So a bit different to mine.
Yeah,
but the same theory. He's got an M50 turbo, and it's yellow.
Do you think he's seen yours?
I messaged him, and it's an exhaust company that's building it. And I said to him, "Is this your car?" And he said, "No, I'm doing it for a customer. I don't usually do things like this, but I'm doing it as like a bit of a after hours for a favour for a friend."
Yeah.
I was like, I don't suppose it was copied off my car, was it? Sent him a picture of my car now being yellow. He went, no, it wasn't your car, it was a green one. I went, what, this one? Sent him a picture of it, that's the one. And I was like, yeah.
That's my car.
Well, I'll take that as a massive compliment. Thank you very much. You know what I mean? But yeah, so he saw my car, went out and bought a Beamer, went out and bought a Mark 1 Golf, and now he's paying someone to build pretty much what I've got.
Jamie was a paying you to go there.
Yeah.
Like, but
like
it's what it is.
I think that's pretty cool. Like,
I mean, it shows your car's been seen over there as well. Like,
South Africa's got a massive Mark 1 Golf following. They still made him over there, way after they stopped making them over here. Same with the Beagles and the campers, wasn't it? I think they were doing it in Mexico, but whatever. But yeah, they've got a massive following in South Africa, Mark 1 Golfs. And E30 Beamers. Have you seen that?
There's fucking loads of them in there. They do the spinning.
Spinning.
That's why I say that he's good at. Yeah.
Bonkers, it was absolutely nuts.
Just on the limit.
It's fun. It's
great fun. You see the question, they're like,
I saw one the other day, the driver was doing it. Then he was just walking around the crowd and being like, and then jumped back in it. It was on the roof upside down. I was like, Fucking
Yeah,
hell.
no health and safety.
Nah, fucking hell.
But even my dad was brought up there, and I remember going on holiday there years ago, and it was like they were stuck. It was like South Africa was sort of like 20, 25 years behind us.
Yeah.
Because the kids that were my age,
Pretty sure Kevin's like that.
yeah, like the kids my age, they were still going, oh, I shouldn't actually say that, but they were all, like all the young kids, like 16, 17, 18, they were all going to church. Everyone went to church.
Yeah.
And it was like, this is weird. Like,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? I don't know one person that goes to church in England. You know what I mean? It was kind of like they're all stuck, sort of like way in the, like, I guess the health and safety is the same. Like,
Yeah.
you don't have to have an insurance to drive over there, right?
I doubt it very much.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
Or an MOT. But yeah, anyway.
What's an MOT?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
We've seen when they use like Calagas bottles on the passenger seat and run it like LPG.
Yeah. Have you not seen it when they put pipes underneath the sills with an emergency button? Flamethrower. BMW actually brought that out as an optional extra on a 3 Series BMW back in like 2000 or something. You could have a flamethrower kit on your car.
Is that so you didn't get robbed or something?
Yeah, when you get
Yeah,
hijacked.
say
Hijack is a huge problem and stuff.
Still is.
Yeah.
Still is. Yeah. They'll go for like a woman driving a car and then...
My brother bought a Mark 4 Cortina, 5 Cortina at one point. It had armour plating in all the doors, laminated side windows. There was loads of stuff on it.
Well, from South Africa.
South African import, yeah.
When I was over there, I was reading the paper and some geezer had a Toyota Carina or something, and he got lawnmower blades off a proper big tractor and spring loaded them underneath his car. And had a second handbrake. There was like a handbrake next to his handbrake, and when he pulled it, these blades just went.
I did try to say that. I've seen one.
Legal.
That's brutal.
Legal.
Yeah.
But like, I don't blame him. Do you know what I mean? Like my granddad lived over there when he was a kid, and he said when he was in Johannesburg, he used to leave the car unlocked. Because if you locked it, they'd smash a window to get it. But if you leave it unlocked, they'd open the door, have a route around, see what they could steal, and then leave it. And he said he'd always come down the next day and the door was on the latch.
So it'd always been in there.
But then obviously fast forward to this day and age, now they're just robbing everything.
Just take the car,
it's
won't
not,
it? Yeah.
it's not great, is it? Like, but yeah.
How did we get to talking about getting cars stolen in South Africa?
I'm not sure. It's
Yeah.
probably my fault. That
Pretty
South
good. That was
Africa.
very good sidetrack.
Yeah, that's my fault. Yeah, Mark 1 Golf's popular over there.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway.
No,
But yeah.
that's fucking crazy. I can't get it out of my head now. Just imagine that.
Yeah.
Cutting straight through your ankles.
Yeah.
Fuck. That's brutal.
Yeah.
Cool. I think we're pretty much through everything that we wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
Got any questions you want to ask us or anything you want to put out there for all of the YouTube to see?
I don't think so.
No?
Just need any fab work, get at me.
Yeah, definitely.
I'll sort you out. Go look at my page as well.
I'll obviously put it down below.
I'm building a MX-5 at the moment, which is having a classic mini Clubman estate shell over the top. So,
Is that for you or for a customer?
no, it's for a customer in Dubai.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have a YouTube?
No. Yeah. It's JMWM.
Yes, of course it is.
If you just go on YouTube and type in Mark 1 Golf Drift Car, my page will come up. It's not really a YouTube page though. I've just done a few little videos.
Little videos of what
Yeah.
you're
I've
doing.
got something else that we haven't spoken about yet. Obviously, Scrutineering for Drift League.
Yeah.
People looking to get into Drift League.
Mhm.
What is the main things you're looking for in Scrutineering?
Probably that they followed the fucking rules.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my
fucking route.
That's my biggest bugbear. Anyone's allowed to message me about any queries or questions, but our rules pretty much do cover anything you want to do. Even into like a front wheel drive to rear wheel drive conversion, we have a little section for that as well. And I don't mind answering anyone's questions and helping anyone with a build, no doubt. But what really bugs me is when someone messages me and says, how big do the boxes on the roll cage need to be? And it's like, well, go read the fucking rules and
Just lazy.
you can find that yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, if you could please read the rules thoroughly before you phone me. But yeah, if you are struggling, please give me a ring. I'm happy to help out as far as that's concerned. But yeah, if you want to get into drifting, you can buy yourself a car. It needs a roll cage in it, which is probably going to cost you between 1,500 quid and £2,000. You need a fully built-in fire extinguisher, which is about, 150 quid, 250 quid?
Bought one recently. How much was yours?
I bought my second hand.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
You can buy it for a couple hundred quid though.
Yeah,
I bet mine's
200
about
quid.
200 quid. Yeah.
You bucket seat and harnesses, they don't have to be in date. As long as they are in good
Marketplace.
condition,
Yeah.
and they've got no. If you come in your bucket seats, got a big chunk out of it, I'm going to fail it. Or if your harness is afraid, I'm going to fail it.
Of course.
But if they're in good condition, it doesn't matter if they're in date or not. You need a toe strap front and rear. You need boots, gloves, suit, and a helmet, which all needs to be in date. That your safety gear that you wear on you all has to be in date. And that's it, really. Oh, sorry, you need an electrical cut-off switch as well.
Yeah.
So when you buy your built-in fire extinguisher, you'll have two levers on it. One that needs to come to the cockpit, which you can reach, and the other one that will go to the bottom of the passenger windscreen.
Yeah.
Whether it's on the wing or on the bonnet, it's got to be in that area. The reason it's got to be in that area is because if you roll your car and you're unconscious, it's on fire, blah, 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 that marshal will be in a massive panic because the car's on fire with someone in it. Why would you not panic? They're going to run over to your car. They need to know exactly where your cut-off switches are in a panic. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, so they've always got to be
The last thing
safe.
you want to put them on the boot and then nobody can find them and you're burning alive. Do you know what I mean? So they have to be there. Other than that, I think that's pretty basic. You know what I mean?
It is a basic.
Car with a roll cage, bucket seat, harnesses, and a built-in fire extinguisher cut-off switch.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all you need. Do you know what I mean?
So with your roll cages, double doors, the double bars, or
Yeah.
single bar?
They can be single bar at the moment,
Okay.
I believe. I think. Yeah.
I think they can, looking at the rules.
Yeah, it's something that's going to be changed at some point, and we've been talking about it for years, but it hasn't changed. Like you're still allowed bolt-in roll cages as well.
Is that going to change?
Potentially not. I mean, it's not something that we're talking about at the minute.
Yeah. Cool.
So you went over as well, like, I'm just thinking of the video we did when we did scrutineering. Firewalls, holes in firewalls and stuff.
Yeah,
So
that's
you
a
said
big
that.
one, right?
Sealing them up.
Yeah. Like if you go on YouTube and go look at the video of Adam Mousey's missus and a Corvette when it catches fire, she's in shorts and t-shirt, and she's only going around like a skid pad, like second gear barely, and like the car catches fire, the flames just almost engulf her, and there's nothing she can do to get out quick enough. Like luckily she didn't burn herself alive. Like, but can you imagine that happening to me at Silverstone? I'm doing 120 mile an hour against the first corner and all of a sudden it catches fire. I ain't going to stop for, do you know what I mean? Like it's,
You're going to ban.
yeah. So it's super important that you have to have your bulkhead covered up. You know what I mean? But that's
And what do you class as covered up?
a rubber grommet.
That's all.
Yeah.
Just so nothing can come through.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, a rubber grommet's going to burn them out.
But not. It's
But
not
it's
going to
gonna
come
take-
through the same way.
It's going to take 10, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, a minute even for that rubber grommet to
Of course
melt,
it will.
by which time you're out of the car.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like a standard car's always going to have rubber grommets in, so you're never going to get away from that. You know what I mean? How are you going to get an accelerator cable to go through the bulkhead
Of course, yeah.
without a rubber grommet? You can't weld it in, can you? You know what I mean? It's going to chafe and... So yeah, we're not unrealistic, like, you know.
Safety.
Yeah.
You're just looking for other people's safety, aren't you?
Yeah, 100%. We're just looking after you, like, that's all. We want you to come back for the next round, innit?
Yeah, exactly. Also,
yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming down, man. I know you travelled 3 hours down, so no excuses for anyone else.
Yeah.
So,
Who can beat me with the distance then?
yeah, well, there are rumours of Mark Brown coming down.
Oh, is it?
So I think he'll win, because I think he's about 5 hours away.
Oh, is it?
I think so, isn't he? About
Is
5
he
hours.
So far,
He's the other
he's
side.
supposed to beat me in distance.
But Laurie was
time.
no.
I take longer than Laurie.
And time. I beat you here by an hour.
Yeah, he did beat you by now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, say Laurie was, he said, I think his was
What about Titch?
an hour and 20 minutes, whereas it
Titch
takes me
was a long
over an
time,
hour and a
wasn't it?
half.
Titch came from quite a way away.
Yeah. He's in Somerset, isn't he?
It's, uh,
Yeah, Laurie comes from Bristol.
Yeah, Laurie, come down again. Mate, honestly, thank you so much.
Yeah, no worries,
Look forward to next year.
Yeah, me too. I'm absolutely buzzing for next year. I
Yeah,
genuinely
it's great.
think we're going to have a good year. There's a lot of old faces that are coming back into it. Like Josh King's doing a full season next year.
Brilliant. That's going to be fucking awesome.
And now
He's not going class 2, is he?
No, is he?
Thank God.
No.
They're like, oh, you haven't done it well. You go class 2. I'm staying at fucking home.
No, you're in class 1. So, yeah, I'm hoping. I mean, Martin Cowley's mentioned maybe.
I see that. That's going to be, that would be cool.
So, like, yeah, if we can get some of these older guys back out, and I think, like, yourselves and a lot of new young faces as well coming into it.
I don't know about younger. less talented maybe, but
yeah. What was I trying to say? YouTube Championship.
yeah, that's not what you're getting at.
But yeah. So like, yeah, I'm super looking forward to it.
Me
I
too.
think it's going to be a sick weekend. Live stream. It's going to feel like that next step of professional as well.
It's going to feel back more like it really is the highest class of drifting in the UK. It's going to be that.
Yeah. I hope so
It's going to
too.
be where people are striving to get to. I hope.
So,
I think we need to stop thinking we're trying to build BDC back up. We're not. We're progressing drifting. It's going to different.
I can honestly say that's the last thing, because that's one thing that Gordon's always said to me in the 5-6 years I've been scrutineering is I'm not trying to be BDC.
No.
Not in a million years. Not even remotely. And that's why we have had the qualifying on the Saturday, competition on the Sunday, to try and get away from BDC. And like that was good in the sense that at the end of the Sunday, there's all the drivers are still there on the day to congratulate.
We talked about that with Matt.
But like now with the new how it's going to work, Class 2 are all going to bugger off home. There's not going to be that many people left on the podium. But with the live stream and hopefully more audience and blah blah and I think it's going to be positive. I think it's going to be good.
Yeah, 100%.
I think that's all anyone wants now in the UK is positivity towards it.
Yeah, 100%.
I think the last couple of years of maybe a little bit of negativity and people pulling one way and people pulling the other, and I think that's kind of disappearing now, and everyone's like, "Nah, this can't work. We need to push forward."
Yeah. And like no one's got any excuse next year either. Like we've got a live stream, we've got different classes, we've got a Pro 2, Pro 1. Do you know what I mean? We've got a good grid, we've got some good drivers, we've got some unusual cars, we've got good tracks.
Yeah.
The prizes are going to be at every round as well, rather than at the end of the year. So it's going to be mint. Like, how can it not be good?
I think there's so much going on there with push drifting. I mean, got to give a shout out to Trevor with Only Skids doing his live streams and stuff.
Yeah.
You've got Dan Red, Initial Drift.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
The guy's got so much passion for it as well.
Yeah.
And I talked to him quite a lot about stuff. So, there's so much going on.
Yeah, I spoke to Dan for a bit. I quite like the fact that he's trying to help other businesses as well.
Yeah.
Like Fiberworks, is it Fiberworks? Whatever he is.
Fiber Factory.
He's trying to help him out, and he said to me in the past, do this and do that. So he's not just trying to make it for himself. He is genuinely trying to help the community, which I like. I'm all for that. I support that.
Well. He's still learning. Like,
same with you guys, though, right? I'm here helping to support you as well as supporting Drift League, and we all need to support it and get involved.
It used to be like it. We supported each other. Then there's some reason it all sectioned off, didn't it?
We're a
and
big
now
family,
it's time to come back.
We're a big family. It's not. I've done rally cars.
Can he be like the cousin that or something?
But I've worked for rally guys before, and it's like, why don't you broke a starter motor? Or if I came over to you and asked you if I could borrow an alternator or whatever, would you? No. Why would you? And they were really confused. Like, well, why would you do that?
Did grass track years ago.
Why would you do that?
You said
the difference is unreal.
But then
Nobody would talk to you. Nobody would tell you nothing. If you needed help, like that, go away.
Yeah, that's it.
Drifting, like you could be about to battle somebody and you'd be helping them change their drive shaft.
Yeah. The best one I ever saw was fucking back in like 2017 at Rockingham, and Jack was through to the final. It was the other half of the semi-final, and the lad, one of the lads crashed into the other one. So the one who got crashed into won the battle, but his car was damaged, bent a rear arm on it. Next thing I know, John Shanahan's running across the track with a spare arm. They've all pulled the car and pushed it onto its side. Yeah. John's there with a sledgehammer or a rattle gun, changes the rear arm, shoots him back off onto track, and then Jack goes and whips his ass and gets on the podium and wins. But
he tried everything. He did everything to make sure it was a show. And there was a battle.
Fucking wicked. Love that.
Yeah, that's so good.
Like I spoke to Hux.
Nobody wants to win a battle by a mile.
Yeah.
No one wants that. You want to win. I
remember speaking to Hux one day. He said that his car broke down at BDC or something. He said next thing he knew, he saw John Shanahan running across the pits with a sledgehammer. He's like, no, it's a trap rod end. We don't need a sledgehammer. Go, put it down. No, you know what I mean?
You always need a sledgehammer.
Did you see the BDC bikes on it where John was on his chair?
Yes.
Did you ever see those funny videos they did?
Yeah.
John's on his chair, and the guy comes in for fuel. It's just a petrol station. Guy comes in and standard car. He's like, "Oh, I'm just getting a bit of fuel." John's like, "Whoa!" He jumps out of his chair. He quickly puts the fuel in his engine, and he's like, "Right, back in!" He just shoves this guy back in and fucks him off on the road like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Great.
oh, it's literally
You
it.
have to look for them. They're really, really good. There's like
Yeah.
Alex Law from Low Origin, innit? Went to KFC. He's got like Lambo doors. And
Yeah.
trying to order a KFC. And he's like, oh screw it. Trying to, yeah. Misfits or something. What they call it or something.
Oh, no, I
Yeah,
saw any of that.
Outsiders or something. Yeah, drifters don't fit in or something like that.
Yeah.
That's quality. I like that.
Yeah.
I miss things like that. It's what we need to start doing with YouTube. It's just the fun little skits as well. So, you know,
How the funny side of it. Like,
Yeah.
it's not all serious, is it?
Well, Dave Egan did quite well with all that, didn't he?
Yeah, Dave was brilliant.
Like, I feel like Dave was, he put a lot into it to not necessarily build BDC up. It was like a stepping stone for Dave to go to Drift Masters and to do bigger and better things, wasn't it? I think he was running BDC just as a demonstration of what he could do.
I think they carry drifting a lot.
Yeah. He did
He's
super
definitely
well.
going that way. Gordon is definitely going, like, he's not holding Drift League on his shoulders. He's taking drifting, UK drifting as a whole. This is why he's bringing all the organisers together.
Yeah.
The stuff he's doing at the moment.
Well, we've got to do something, haven't we?
Yeah, 100%.
This is why we've started this.
Yeah.
Just to try and
Yeah. No, it's good. It's
get
positive.
positivity back.
Yeah, no,
It's
it's
the
good.
only thing we're interested in is, like, you know, we have the unpopular things, we have the rants that
Yeah,
we
yeah.
all have, and we all think it, you know, it's fun, it's a bit of fun. But we don't have any negativity. It's
Yeah,
only
yeah.
positivity.
Yeah.
Like,
No, it's
how
good.
can it be better?
Yeah.
You know,
You can fuck off.
I could try.
Yeah, speaking of fucking off.
yeah, go on, fuck up. Make the place look
I'm
messy.
busting for a piss. We call it a day, shall we?
Yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in. See you next time.
Take care.
Cheers.